In this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. Broadcasting from a Montana wilderness fortress at the headwaters of the Missouri, this is Matt Christiansen Live.
I would say maybe 40 ICE agents, most of them masked, in several vehicles that the community had stopped because they were afraid that they were taking people.
Good.
I was here. This is like the restaurant I come to literally once a week.
We're not paid actors. It really happened.
And was sprayed in the face by a very aggressive agent.
I'd never seen this before. This is shameful.
Pushed around by others. I literally was not being aggressive. I was asking for clarification. We have like remnants of whatever they sprayed on us. Excuse me, it's bothering me.
We were shot at. It's really scary. It was very frightening and very jarring.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies.
They're literally disappearing people from the streets. They arrested 2 people. We have no idea where they're going.
Hell yes.
That is correct.
You are fake news.
It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication.
Very fake news.
We're the United States of America.
He touched young people.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes! All right, America, go to the YouTube right now.
Duct tape all over the place. It's a disgrace.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Matt Christiansen Live, a proud duct tape production for Sunday, December 7th, 2025. Thank you for tuning in. Sitting shotgun tonight is our friend Mark Aaron. He is Canadian, but we do allow it.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Welcome back.
Evening, Matthew.
Follow him on X at Liberty M. Aaron, linked in the description. At the bottom of the hour, Sean Fitzgerald, actual justice warrior, will join to talk about the crazy story of a bum who kept assaulting women on the campus of New York University. They finally apprehended him, Mark. But there was some kind of hobo squatting and living on campus and just sneaking up behind women, not to sexually assault them per se, but at least according to the footage that I've seen, just like hit them in the butt. But like hard, so hard they fall over.
He's now an honorary humanities professor.
I it's not funny for the people he's victimizing, for the state of New York crime. You know, in a place where people light you on fire and other horrific acts of violence, getting like a very forceful smack on the butt, I don't know, could be worse.
Yeah.
But Sean will fill me in on that story. I don't know much about it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about, of course, the big story, the Somali fraud that's been going on over the last couple of years. He'll give us his take on some of that stuff. But otherwise, in the news tonight, Mark, were you on the show when we talked about the January 6th pipe bomber story from the Blaze, or was that someone else? I can't remember.
No, I think that was me. We touched on it like twice, I believe.
The gate analysis, right? We talked about the walk.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So that story is totally upended again because now it's not the soccer-playing Capitol police officer lady. In fact, the story's retracted. And there's an arrest of a black guy, a black autistic guy who's 30 years old in Northern Virginia, unless you watch CNN, in which case it was definitely a white man. But we'll try to figure out who's responsible.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Just twists.
So we were right about questioning the veracity of the Blaze journalism.
But I have almost as many questions about this guy as I do the Blaze report. So we'll see.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And before we get into that, the most important news of the week, another viral N-word incident. We have another case of white women growing weary of Somali behavior. And so this one, like Shiloh Hendricks in the spring, dropped the hard R in response. This was a Cinnabon in Wisconsin. We'll take a look shortly. Later in the show, some odds and ends. We have Hoax Hate to close as well. Plus, we'll take your Superchats throughout the show, too. Big thanks to those of you who support the show Before we get into it, got to say hello to our friendly listener-owned business of the evening. That's our friends at Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing. These are high-quality, handmade, premium hardwood cutting boards, charcuterie boards, serving trays, and more, all of which are great gift options or the perfect piece to class up your kitchen or anywhere else in your home. All Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing products are made in Colorado from premium domestic hardwood sources. And in addition to the quality, the best part about Kineo Mountain's products, they're fully customizable, not just in materials, but in engravings too. So if you'd like to personalize a gift like the cutting board that Blake at Kineo Mountain made for my family with my YouTube channel logo in it, they can do that. If you have any custom hardwood project in mind, no matter how big or how small, they can do it. Build an entire set of custom furniture for your home or just something small that makes a nice gift. Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing can make that a reality for you. Get in touch at kineowood.com. And Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing has a special offer just for Christmas. Of course, we're right up against the deadline. My sources say that tomorrow, Monday, is the deadline to get your Christmas orders in at Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing. So if you're interested, head on over to kineowood.com. But they're selling these charming little Santa ornaments for Christmas as well. Like all their products, you get a selection carved maple or walnut. Makes a high-quality gift or something to spruce up your own tree. So head on over to kineomountainwoodsmithing.com, kineowood.com, KINEOWOOD. And by the way, listeners of this show get 10% off all Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing products and services using promo code MATT10 at checkout. Promo code MATT10, 10% off everything at kineowood.com, kineowood.com. Find all the information at mattchristiansenmedia.com/deals. Deals by listeners for listeners. All right, into the news that really matters here, Mark. Have you seen the video yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been all over this one.
Okay. This does seem up your alley.
It was right up my alley.
So another incident, as I said, where patience with Somalis has been worn down to the N-word. First, of course, we had Shiloh Hendricks in Rochester, Minnesota in the spring. That was the case where the unaccompanied kid allegedly stole something out of her diaper bag. A Somali pedophile harassed her, and we heard.
Why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
And then she raised $750,000 and is now being prosecuted by the state of Minnesota for the ends that she dropped that day.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that they're actually going at for what? Hate crime?
Disorderly conduct. Shiloh Hendricks. Yeah.
Is that a misdemeanor? Like, what's the...
Yeah. It actually has potential to be a very interesting speech case if she's convicted and they appeal. But
it'll be the first time you get life in jail for disorderly conduct.
Yeah, actually, she'll be executed.
Precedents will be set. Yeah.
But we have almost the exact same plot line outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin this week. Cinnabon has now fired an employee after racist comments to customers. This according to the headline in the Green Bay Press Gazette here. The viral video was posted to social media by the Somalis themselves, much like the Shiloh Hendricks case. These two Somalis are recording the Cinnabon worker. This Cinnabon worker is apparently named Crystal. There's some sort of argument that happens before the video here, and Crystal says, yeah, I am a racist, and yes, you are an N-word.
Sexualizing your body makes you a better person.
Are you recording?
I'm gonna record you. Yes.
Do you want me to throw water on you? That's nigger. I am racist.
So idiot, for
and
real.
you are a nigger.
You are an idiot. No, I'm not.
racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruined your life, by the way.
Oh, you talking about respect? You talking about respect? You are fired from this place, motherfucker. You're not gonna be working here.
Suck it.
Suck what? Look how you
Suck
fucking look
it.
like.
What's wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you, you fucking ugly bitch? Get the fuck out of my
Ugly?
face.
Talking about ugliness?
Did I stutter?
You're the ugliest person I ever seen in my life.
Good.
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not.
Because you know damn well you're a
That's
fucking
respect.
evil
That's
fuck.
respect. Keep squeezing that caramel, bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
That was meant for you.
That's a woman who's definitely had enough of Somali behavior, I would say.
Yeah, I get that feeling. That was longer than anything I had previously seen.
There are a couple different clips out. That was the longest I could find because, of course, I wanted the most context possible. But you know who doesn't want context? Cinnabon. She was fired immediately. Apparently fired by the franchise owner at this particular store in Ashwaubenon. I'm trying to pronounce that correctly to all our Wisconsin people out there. Ashwaubenon. This is outside of Green Bay. But yeah, the franchise owner fired her, and then Cinnabon Corporate issued a statement, quote, "We've seen the disturbing video from the Cinnabon Bakery in Ashwaubenon. We do not condone this behavior. The employees' actions do not reflect our values or the welcoming experience that every guest deserves." Now, piecing it together, you probably heard there, Mark, there's some sort of commentary about hijab and sexualizing yourself. You catch that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I believe that they were provoking her. That's because the original clip I saw was what they posted, and of course that wasn't included in it. It just started and she told the truth.
You mean to say even the most hardened racists don't just drop the N upon sight with black people? That maybe there was some sort of heckling or harassment that might have provoked this outburst?
Yeah.
So according to the Somalis, because there are dueling fundraisers here, the Somalis have their own fundraiser. They are asking for $45,000 because they were called N's. So what do they need $45,000 for? They say for legal fees. I guess they're going to get some lawyer to come make this a racial discrimination case or something.
Okay, what's the damages? Like we didn't get our Cinnabon? Because I was going to say I hope they get fired, but how many Somalis in, I don't even want to try pronouncing that town, are gainfully employed, you know, as I'm sure we'll get into with the Minnesota Somali experience.
Apparently they're migrating eastward as well. They are concentrated in the Twin Cities, but they've made it all the way to Green Bay by the look of this Cinnabon incident. But you can hear the Somali guy say, like, he says something like, "You think you're better because you sexualize your body." So this is implicitly referring to her lack of modesty. According to the Somalis on their GoFundMe fundraiser, they say this woman, who we believe to be named Crystal, based on her own fundraiser over on Give, Send, Go, at least that is called Stand with Crystal. The Somalis went in, they wanted a cinnamon roll that had caramel on it, and it did not have enough caramel. And so the Somalis went back and said, "More, please." And she said, "No, that's all we have to offer." And some sort of argument ensued based on the quantity of caramel on the roll. They say that Crystal said that the woman's hijab was what? How did they phrase it? Some sort of a witchcraft. It was a witchcraft bandana. That's what she called it. A witchcraft bandana.
I like that.
And so they're saying it all started with an argument about a hijab and obviously descended into some sort of argument about who's more modest with their feminine sexualization.
Right.
Okay. Just like Shiloh Hendricks, you have a Give, Send, Go for Crystal. Crystal has now raised, like Shiloh Hendricks, a large sum of money as of Showtime tonight, over $80,000. I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm not saying this is not her, but I've not seen confirmation that it is. The one thing that makes me a little bit nervous about this fundraiser is it says it's created by a guy named Tom Hennessy, not the person. We see fundraisers created by people on behalf of others all the time. So I'm not saying this is fake or that it's a lie or something. But the difference with the Shiloh Hendricks case and this one, to me, is Shiloh Hendricks, with her Give, Send, Go, she added a lot more information about how that situation unfolded. She told the full story. This Give, Send, Go doesn't really add more to the story beyond what we can see in the video, other than it has a photo of her that's not a part of the video. So it could be authentic. I'm a little bit, I'm like 50-50 on this fundraiser as to its accuracy, just because it's not telling her side of the story, really. Yeah. It just says the Somalis harass her all the time, which I can believe.
As far as I know, she hasn't really come out and made a statement or anything. This Give, Send, Go, I donated when I think it was at like $1,500.
I asked you if you've seen it. You're like, bitch, I'm the lead donor.
Oh yeah, no, I was Xing about it like crazy. So the guy, Tom Hennessy, I follow him on X, and
so that's a public person. That's not just a guy.
Yeah, and he's a guy, at least on X.
Okay,
and I believe he's set up previous GoFundMe's as well, or Give, Send, Goes, And he was tweeting about it before he found her, and then he was like, "Oh, I found her," and then he set this up right away, and then
so this is legit. This is not.
I have faith that he's operating in good faith and will give her the money, because he said he did say that he had located her, but again, I haven't heard anything from her in terms of a statement or anything like that, which is smart on her behalf. She should just keep quiet, let people do the good work. Because again, stories like this, it's not really about her. And I'd seen people tweeting good things, bad things, whatever. I was like, I don't really care. For me, when I heard in the video the people saying, "You're going to get fired, your life is ruined."
Yeah.
That's what they do it for. And you'll get the mob will go out to ruin this person's life. And it's always completely one-sided, because they said terrible stuff to her, but no one cares, and they're not going to get fired. And for me, it's just about everybody is racist, but one group is punished for it, and that's white people, and it seems to be white women for some reason now. And I want to make it very clear that no, you're not going to ruin her life. You're going to make her rich. So go for it.
I'm surprised they're trying it again after the Shiloh precedent. And to the Shiloh precedent, I guarantee now Cinnabon, they've already fired her. Looks like her salary plus some is going to be made up anyway. But this is in a mall. The store has surveillance footage. There's probably additional footage from the mall facility. Like you said, the idea that she just saw black people and became so enraged that she dropped the N. I wouldn't be surprised not only if they were ridiculous in this scenario, I wouldn't be surprised if those same Somalis are at that store every single day heckling her. You can tell that there's a rage built up in her that is so far beyond just, I don't like Somalis. There's something going on here.
You never know. Somalis, on their own do inspire rage. So
I guess
it's believable that it's just like you can tell. But yeah, I mean, and again, I don't even really blame necessarily that store owner or Cinnabon, because when you come out and you say I am racist and drop the hard R in their uniform, they're going to have to do what they have to do. But for me, the context is still, if it was the other way around, no one would be trying to ruin their lives, and so we got to.
Speaking of the other way around, first of all, the only other thing I wanted to say is, it's nice to know amid economic woes, if any of you are worried about your job prospects, worried about your retirement in an uncertain economy, do what Dave Ramsey says. Just book a plane to Minneapolis, head on down to the Mall of America, tape yourself calling a Somali an N, and you will be taken care of. That's America's retirement plan now.
I like it. Yeah, it's a good trend. I endorse.
But to your point on this behavior is uniquely given the mob treatment, to particular demographics. This video also surfaced this week, and I've tried to find the full context of it. I wasn't able to find all additional detail, but I believe it to be accurate. This is a video, or at least the description here that this happened on a particular spot on the New York City subway. This is viral video taken of a black woman seated next to a Hispanic woman giving a similar, if not worse, racial lecture, and then actually physically moving her out of her seat. Check this out.
You don't deserve no respect at all. You Hispanic ass people don't deserve nothing in America. You understand? Nothing, bitch. You don't even deserve to sit around me, bitch. You understand that shit? You don't deserve nothing out this motherfucker. You dirty bitch. You dirty, uneducated bitch. You, bitch. You. You don't deserve to be around me. I'm being respectful, bitch. You can get the fuck up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Nah. Now you gotta get up. Get the fuck up. Get up. Get up, bitch. Now you stand up, ho. Know where you at in America. We ain't in your country, we in my country, bitch. Yeah, sit over there with your people, bitch.
I gotta say, at least she was respectful about it.
I'm being respectful, bitch.
I appreciate that.
I need the context. What happened? What did she do to her?
Yeah, I tried to find more information and I wasn't able to find it. But yeah, I'm told that this is the demographic that built this country, so I can't argue with her points. It seems factually accurate. maybe a little rude, but fair enough. I think ICE should hire her, actually. She would make a fantastic ICE spokeswoman if she wants an opportunity there. Like I said, the only context I have is that this apparently happened at the Bay Ridge 95th Street station in New York City on the R train. And apparently this is the hard R train.
You are a I am racist.
So ride that at your own risk.
I'm sure that there's a mob out there trying to track her down and find out her name and where she works and ruin her life. But no, see, that doesn't happen, Matt, because racism is prejudice plus power, and she's an oppressed minority. Therefore,
she's got a job at LaDonna's law office very soon. I think she might get hired there. But
it will be interesting to find out, to see all this non-racism coming from the black community towards non-Americans.
Yeah. Well, before Sean gets here, I want to talk about the pipe bomber case. Because speaking of white aggression, it's yet another case of white aggression, Mark, or at least that's what you would be led to believe if you tuned into CNN this week.
Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies.
They're at it again, those scheming whites with their pipe bombing.
It's white in spirit. The act was white. So
Well, at least Jake Tapper got the name right. It is Brian Cole Jr. He's 30 years old. He's a black guy, as you saw pictured there. And he was arrested at his parents' home he lived in his parents' home, Woodbridge, Virginia, Northern Virginia, on Thursday. It's about 25 miles south of D.C., and he is now, according to reports over the weekend, he's been talking to the FBI and other investigators. He has now confessed. So he's not exercising his right to remain silent. It doesn't look like he intends to enter a not guilty plea, although he didn't enter a plea at his court hearing. But he's now confessing, and he's offering information to investigators about why he did this. And again, this is according to anonymous sources with knowledge. We don't have any official transcript of his interviews or anything like that, but we have apparently some people talking to media. And the case is very confusing about why he did this, his motive, all of those things. He's telling investigators, according to reports, that he believed that the 2020 election was rigged or stolen. He had questions about the 2020 election. It's even being reported that he supported Trump. The reason that's a little bit odd sounding is because his dad, Brian Cole Sr., runs this bail bond company. I believe Brian Cole Jr. has worked for it or was working for it in some capacity. But the company actually sued the Trump administration in 2018, claiming immigration clients of theirs were treated unfairly. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean left-wing politics, I suppose. But Brian Cole Sr. has also worked with Benjamin Crump. And Benjamin Crump is the famous race activist lawyer who has represented the families of Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all the big names, or a lot of them. The other thing that's confusing is Brian Cole is also telling investigators that he's an anarchist, or at least according to reports from MS Now, formerly MSNBC. So he's a Trump-supporting anarchist who wants fairly administered elections for the government he doesn't want, something like that. You also have
pipe bombs.
And yeah, he's enforcing his views
against his father by going hard MAGA.
Maybe, yeah. Huh? Cole's grandma Loretta said to the Daily Mail, he has no party affiliation. He never votes, is what she said. Not a Trump supporter. He's just an autistic recluse. Her words, not mine. Autistic recluse and a computer nerd. And
votes with his kitchen supplies.
Well, even the evidence I find to be a little odd. I'll get to that in a moment. But
yeah,
on Friday, D.C. federal prosecutor Jeanine Pirro said investigators talking to him say he has expressed disappointment with both sides. He doesn't like either political party, and so he sought to punish both parties, apparently, when he dropped pipe bombs, allegedly, at both party HQs. So the motive is entirely unclear, but even the way that they identified him, I think, is a little bit questionable. according to Pam Bondi and Kash Patel at a press conference on Thursday, there was no new evidence or leads discovered by the FBI. They didn't get any new information beyond what had been left over at FBI HQ from the Biden administration. They just fired old people working on the case and they brought new people in to work on the case. According to the affidavit, the way that they found this guy, Brian Cole Jr., is by tracing bank records and purchase histories. They found Cole as a guy who bought these pipe bomb materials during 2019 and 2020. They did that by looking at the materials they discovered, tracing through the manufacturers where those products were sold. They found them at Home Depots and Lowe's and some other stores. But they've combed through hundreds of thousands of transaction records, they say, and they found that Cole bought pipes, end caps, 9-volt batteries, wires, kitchen timers, and more. But here's where it gets weird to me, Mark. In 2019 and 2020, some of it is after the election, but a lot of it is before. They also connected his phone pings. His phone was connecting to towers near the party HQs on the night of January 5th, the night before January 6th. So he's now charged with attempted malicious destruction by fire and explosives. He faces, I've seen conflicting information. Some sources say 30 years in prison. Some sources say 20 years in prison. So I'm not sure exactly what he faces, but it's a lot. As I mentioned, he didn't enter a plea in his initial court hearing on Friday. He has reportedly confessed. His next court date will be a week from Monday. That would be December 15th. He remains in custody and prosecutors are looking to keep him there. But some questions I have, Mark, about this. First of all, very odd timing with the Blaze report that we discussed in November. That came out November 8th. Of course, that was identifying the former Capitol Police officer, Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff, as a potential pipe bombing suspect based on her gait. The Blaze has now retracted that story. They say they stand by their methods and their sources, but they are retracting the story. It's gone now. If you go to it on their site, of course, you can still find an archived version of it. But what I mean by the odd timing with the story is not that I believe the Blaze story, as we discussed. It's just that this case was dormant and silent for the better part of 5 years. Then you have something of a breakthrough story, even if it was total crap or even if there's something to it. Then all of a sudden, the arrest appears. Wow. Crazy timing. I find that to be a little bit odd. The other thing for the Blaze, though, I mean, they've retracted. Is the Blaze about to get wrecked like Gawker? I got to imagine that Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff is gearing up to collect on what'll probably be a defamation suit here.
Yeah, it's a lot of strange. I thought maybe someone just saw him walking down the street and was like, that guy really walks like a girl, and then told the FBI. And, the evidence just stacked up. But yeah, that is a little weird to come out with this. I mean, I could say there is some kind of flow to the motive if he is just an autistic, government-hating, anarchist, libertarian who wants to blow them all up. Okay, and he might have wanted to blow them up before the election was stolen, and then hated them even more after. So
I guess the purchases seem so weird to me, though. Like you got purchases dating back to like June 2019 or something. Had he just thought like I need
to like stretch that out over a series of years?
It would be more convincing to me if you could show went to Home Depot, November 30th, 2020 and bought all the stuff. Yeah, all right. I mean, that's an odd selection of things, but is it really that weird to buy pipes by themselves, to buy 9-volt batteries by themselves? I'm not even saying that the FBI is wrong here. It just strikes me as odd if you're trying to build pipe bombs that you would buy each piece like one at a time over the course of 2 years.
To me, right off the bat, it's my suspicion. I still don't trust the FBI, and the timing and everything more seems like this is a roundabout way of setting up a patsy after the fact to take the heat off this the girl. It's sus.
I don't buy the Blaze story, but all that stuff seems weird. And if the story is from the current FBI, as we heard with Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and the rest, the prior FBI failed. They couldn't figure it out. It was this FBI that succeeded. Okay, but you're also telling me that this current FBI uncovered no new information. What you're telling me is you analyzed information or used methods that were in-house prior to your arrival. If I believe that the prior FBI was corrupt and would engage in some sort of ridiculous cover-up, is it possible that they left a trail for you to take to try to get this sort of thing? Now, I know that I'm getting into weird territory because why would Brian Cole be the guy? And why, like, if you wanted a fall guy, why wouldn't Democrats have just done that when they were in power to make sure that the whole thing goes away? But I find it odd that we're saying, well, we didn't find any new information. It's just been sitting around at FBI HQ. Also, if that's the case, why did it take you guys like 10 months to put it together?
Yeah, I don't know. And it kind of also seems like, yeah, like you know how the FBI has that thing where they'll find that an autistic kid and go buy him the guns and set him up and everything. Like maybe it was one of those. And then the new FBI were like, oh, by the way, they were setting up this guy. Why don't we just turn him in?
The other thing that I think is a little bit odd or worthy of questioning, let's say Brian Cole is the guy, despite our questions here. How authentic is what he's saying about buying into the election, believing that the election was stolen? I guess what I'm asking is it possible that he is angling for like a January 6th pardon? Everybody else got one, pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
Go Trump. Like, love Trump.
Yeah, that's why I did it. J6.
Please pardon me, like the rest of the club. Is some of that going on? And then the other thing, like,
sorry, just to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
But did people who actually committed serious crimes get pardoned, even if those crimes were on January 6th?
There were only like a handful of people who were not pardoned.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget exactly what their crimes were, but for the most part, everybody got pardoned, even people who committed violence.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe not pardoned. It might have been commutation. Can't remember.
Yeah, I thought it was sort of applied to the people who were being over prosecuted.
Yeah. No, it was pretty much everybody.
There were some crimes committed on January 6th. Not everybody was a peaceful protester.
There was definitely criminal prayer by grandmas and all that sort of thing that had to be sorted out. The last thing I'll say is, and maybe this question answers itself because when I look back at the reporting and the statement, maybe it was a little more qualified than I remember. But when they say, oh, we connected his phone to the area, I remember when the FBI was saying, no, we geofenced the entire area and the phone data were corrupted. We couldn't recover them. Wow, we can't find who it was because the phone data are corrupted. I went back and looked, and whoever the prosecutor was at the time, or whoever it was that Stephen I can't pronounce his name, D'Antuono, FBI guy who was doing the January 6th investigation. They said that their phone data was not complete because some of it was corrupted by one of the providers. So looking back at it, they said some of the data were corrupted, not all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's not as weird as it seemed at first glance. But I did find it odd that all of a sudden the phone data were readily available. We can just connect this guy right away. Anyway.
Someone's covering something, Matt. We're gonna solve this case eventually, but
which one do I have more questions about? The
they're both
the Blaze story or this story? I don't know. Anyway, Sean is here, so I got to go get him. And if you have other thoughts about the pipe bomber, we can get to those at the top of the hour.
I got to see. Someone has to videotape him walking. That's the only thing that would convince me.
So get the gait analysis guy.
Get a catwalk. Yeah.
That's
the only way we'll know for sure.
All right. I'm going to go get Sean, and I will be right back. I'll see you at the top of the hour, okay?
Cheers.
Stand back and stand by.
I'm being respectful, bitch.
My guest tonight is Sean Fitzgerald. Find his Actual Justice Warrior channel and X account linked in the description. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you for having me. How's it going? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great, man. Although, we're just sleep is at a premium now. We are really in toddler and newborn hell. So other than trying to remember the days where I got a full night's sleep, and God bless my wife for suffering even more than I have been lately. I feel like a zombie in some ways, but getting through it. How was your Thanksgiving?
Is she stay at home or?
She's full-time childcare.
Must be
so.
nice. Must be nice.
That's the plan. And of course we feel very grateful to be able to do that. But, that includes overnight. So we're dealing with it. But how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. Like, it's one of my favorite holidays. So like, I love it every year.
Well, that's good. You told me about this New York University bum attack, and I had heard nothing about it until you mentioned it to me. So do you want to catch me up on this? It looks like a serial butt slapper to me, like a very aggressive butt slapping guy.
Yeah, but there are some twists to it, even post my video that I did on it, that are just amazing.
Okay.
So the girl in question ended up going viral, and this is kind of how this led to an arrest of the suspect involved. Her name is Amelia Lewis. She's a 20-year-old from that goes to NYU. She's actually a very pretty girl, which definitely plays into her going viral and getting attention. And essentially, she was walking from her dorm to campus, and a guy called James Rizzo allegedly walks up behind her, even though it's on video, slaps her on her backside, and then when she turns around, he grabs her by the hair and yanks her to the ground. So, you look at the guy, obviously he's homeless, like, spoiler alert, that is going to be a thing. But this girl, she ends up telling her story on a TikTok, and it gets a ton of attention because, again, like, look at her. And that's from the second video right there. That's still image right there. Yeah. So after she gets the attention, and by the way, I'm telling you, as somebody who got my car stolen in the city of New York, this is something that pretty girls get to do that I was not able to do. She then decides to go to the liquor store and ask them for the surveillance footage. They turn over the footage immediately, of course. She makes another TikTok that includes the footage in there. And again, eventually this gets enough attention to arrest James Rizzo, which again, on its own, it's like, whatever. New York story, homeless guy slapped her on the ass, not a big deal.
Quick aside into your story. Are you saying nobody would assist you with surveillance video?
Yeah, no business nearby would give me surveillance video. Like, I live on a street where there are businesses that are close, and the car was pointed that way. So unless they made a U-turn, presumably they would have passed by. Gave me nothing.
The reason being probably just too much work for them, or did they have something against you? Did they not like your stupid face or what?
They're like, oh, it's the police or whatever. But I'm sure if I was like a very attractive 20-year-old co-ed, then I would have had no problem.
Should have hired her. It's at Amelia Louie 33832.
First of all, the girl went viral with a Twitter account that like, it sounds like the fakest account. It was opened up 10 seconds before the video.
Well, I got a little bit of I got both the video clips that you sent me. One is her describing what happened, and then there's video of the event. You want to play her description first?
Yeah, you could play a little bit of it.
Sexualizing your body makes you a better person.
Whoops. Oh, that's the N-word video from earlier. My mistake.
I was just on my way this morning at 9:20 a.m. walking to class on Broadway off of like Waverly Place where like that Fresh and Co is. And like as I'm walking like with my headphones on listening to music, I feel like something like slapped me so hard, like literally on my ass. When I turned around, I just saw this like old white guy. Right when I turned around, he like grabbed my fucking hair like this and like yanked me and like threw me to the ground. My like headphones went fucking flying, and I was just like on the ground, and I saw him just like bolt away. So if you're by campus and you see this like tall white guy, like homeless looking guy with a beard and like sweats or something, like please like report him, like be careful. Now I'm pissed because like I've been doing all this boxing, like I should have gotten up and like chased after him and like squared his bitch ass up. Like that would have been a sick story.
That's interesting to me that the delusion still lives in her. I don't know how serious she is when she says I'm going to fight him, but it seems kind of serious.
It's funny because she sounds like your typical like 20-year-old that goes to university. There's the likes and the literallys and all that. And, you know, of course, she's like, in this case, it's boxing, but, you know, a lot of girls will talk about how they do Krav Maga or whatever. But it's like this uncoordinated 6-foot-tall homeless guy, like complete flawless victory against her in the physical fight. But like the thing is she didn't exaggerate. If you play the video, which I don't know if you should because the YouTube gods might,
I'll risk it.
Strike you down.
Yeah, I got it. I'll take the risk. Thank you for looking out for me, though.
Her story is pretty accurate, though, is what I was going to say. Like how she described it, it wasn't very exaggerated.
Let's take a look at the video of the attack itself here.
So I just watched the footage of my assault, and I'm gonna say it's definitely violent. I have sent it to NYU security, and they're forwarding it to the police, and it actually is the guy that has been assaulting many girls around campus right now. This is right before it all happened, so I circled where I'm walking. I just crossed the street and I'm walking down the right side of Broadway, and then you can see that he literally followed me across the street, and that's him right there, and he literally targets me and approaches me and does this.
But then he just runs away. So this guy is a serial attacker, as she's saying. Is he just a deranged hobo, or is there something he's trying to achieve? What is the motivator here?
So he does have a criminal history that does involve like other sex crimes, like grabbing people's boobs and whatnot. When he was arrested in this case, he was charged with 2 assaults because he's actually the suspect for a previous month's assault. But what's interesting about this is what she said earlier on before she played the video, which is, oh, it's the same guy that everybody's been talking about, because this guy had been attacking women in and around this area over and over again. And like they arrested him. They kind of like basically knew who he was. They actually ended up arresting him for a burglary, like a break and entry. And then they charged him with 4 additional burglaries in the same building that he had broken into at his initial point of arrest. So this guy was just a repeat offender, a homeless guy that was in and around this area for a long time committing these crimes. NYU has reported like 102 similar instances to this case since Thanksgiving. Like, so right around here, the students... And like, you know, this is a populated part of New York City. It's Washington Square Park. Not all the people there are students. It's not like a little carve out that's a campus town or anything. So just NYU police have received 102 reports of these kind of like different varieties of these instances since Thanksgiving. But what's fascinating about this is that it was revealed that the reason this guy kept harassing and attacking women, like the reason he was so proximate to them, is not because he lived in the park. He was squatting in their dorm. Like he was in an unoccupied penthouse in the building owned by NYU that, like, if you were to rent it at market rates would be worth like $60,000. Like it was huge. And this guy was just there. So you have a predator with a history of sexual offenses, battery against women, that appears to be targeting young girls. NYU knows about multiples of these reports. There's not an arrest made, despite another police report from another woman earlier in the month, or like a month prior to this incident. And the guy's living in the dorm. The call is coming from inside the house, and NYU is like none the wiser. So like what's interesting about this is not necessarily the girl, like, is that the girl had to be this attractive to go viral to shine a light on something NYU fully was aware of.
Yeah. Well, okay. And they just to clarify, they knew he was living on campus already, and they didn't even take action on that. No, it's not just that they didn't punish him for the attacks, but
they had multiple reports of a guy fitting this description attacking people. So like he was not like an unknown suspect in the area, but for whatever reason, there was no arrest made until, well, we know why. She got attention. It embarrassed them. But like until she posted a video that went viral, there was no arrest made. But like NYU had multiple reports. Like you hear her saying it in the video. She's like, yeah, everybody was like, oh, it's the same guy that attacked me. It's the same guy that girls have been warning about in whatever like student communications that they have. So like NYU had received reports about this guy in this area, and they like either didn't investigate it because it's a homeless guy and they didn't care, didn't turn over to the NYPD, or did turn it over to the NYPD and the NYPD didn't investigate. But the thing is, he was in their dorm the whole time. Girls from the dorm are being attacked.
Why
they don't investigate? He turns out to be squatting in the dorm.
Yeah, why did he have to go outside to commit his attacks? He could have just stayed home. I don't get it. But
he didn't want to crap where he eats in his penthouse, apparently.
Well, all right. Maybe that's a possible explanation. Okay.
Now look,
is he in custody, by the way?
Yes,
okay, so he's not back out.
He is in custody as of right now. Again, they're like holding him because of the fact that like the viral video and the attention.
Are they literally holding him, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has some level of bond. Because
I'm just trying to adopt the lingo of this lady. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, are they literally? They're literally like holding him. But
yeah, they literally like holding him or not? Yeah.
It's just like a fascinating story. And then what's interesting is at the end of that video where she shows the clip, because a lot of people are like, she voted for this, right? You know, young women, single women, unmarried women, women without children, largest Mamdani voter base. At the end of the video, she's like, listen, you got to think about who you're voting for. We can't let these repeat offenders out of jail over and over again. So she sounds like she has a good mind to what she understands the problem is.
I should have saved it. When I edited this up for time, I thought, should I keep that in there? Because it is an interesting point. And you're right. She does say that at the end, like, we should consider our voting habits, but it is in the softest, most hesitant way possible. Maybe we should vote accordingly. She doesn't want to get wrecked by the mob, you know? You can tell that she doesn't want to say, vote conservatively, vote Trump, vote whatever. There's a big hesitation on her part.
That is to be expected from an NYU student. I remember I was at some kind of like event with like a couple of students from like different universities. Like this was not too long ago. And in there was a NYU girl, a girl that went to Cornell, and then some girl that went to whatever, like other school. But like that person, not important. But that one was like the Bernie Sanders supporter. The Cornell person was the Michael Bloomberg. This is for the Democratic primary for president and concerned about climate change. But the NYU person was like the Elizabeth Warren and literally repeating the, she has a plan for everything. She has a plan for this. She has a plan for that. And this is like not a political conversation. This girl's just going off on how much she loves Elizabeth Warren. So if you're in the culture of like weak people like that, like you have to hesitantly say maybe we should lock up repeat offenders that sexually assault women, you know?
Yeah. Seems non-controversial, but wow, what a story there. But I know you want to talk a little bit about the Somali fraud as well. I want to leave enough time for that. Now, I've been following this closely. I know a lot in my audience have, but so I think a lot of us are generally familiar with the facts of what's going on and how deep and wide this is. But I just invite your thoughts about the fraud in general, or if anything sticks out to you or anything about it that you want to discuss.
Well, what's impressive about the fraud is that there's so many different individual frauds. And when they investigate one, it uncovers another. Yeah. So like, you know, we have the Feeding Our Future one, which is the one that they're now saying like, wait, Ilhan Omar had to know about this because she proposed the program. It got passed by Congress. The fraud happened in her district. The people who committed the fraud were her friends and people who donated to her. And she promoted Feeding Our Future multiple times. Like there's videos of her doing this.
Yeah.
So it's like, how did she not know about this? But that led to a fraud. I believe the autism fraud investigation, like that was uncovered later on. And that one I think is crucial because one, the numbers are crazy. Like you've seen the like reports. Like they set up the autism program through Medicaid.
Yes,
it was like a $1 million budget, and then it goes to 230.
Yeah,
in 7 years. Like
the craziest stat out of that to me was the fact that something like 1 in 16 Somali kids became autistic.
Yeah,
which is something like 6 times the state average rate in Minnesota. So suddenly everybody ran an autism therapy center, and every kid became autistic, and they just raked in cash.
Exactly. And they were giving, and that one's important because they gave kickbacks to the parents for how they certify their kids as autistic. And like you could say the Feeding Our Future, 60 people were indicted. The kids didn't exist in that scandal. So that's like an isolated incident, right? It doesn't involve the broader community. But when 1 in 16 of the children in the state of Minnesota that are of this origin are somewhat a party to the scheme as well as their families, that's a much bigger deal. Like that is way more noticeable. And a ton of this fraud is in this home healthcare overbilling like kind of stuff. Like one of my favorite clips from the local news, I don't know if you've seen this one in particular, is they interview a guy who advocated for this autism program. And the guy says, I like never would have imagined that people would be billing for services that don't exist. He's like he couldn't fathom that idea. And it's like, bro, this is like high trust Minnesota white society meets low trust like Somali piracy. Like he's so unaware. That's the most common Medicare and Medicaid and insurance fraud there is, overbilling, and he was shocked by it.
Yeah, and what's crazy about I've seen a lot. The best defense that I've seen, and it's not a defense, but it helps you understand the situation a little bit, maybe, is that scamming in Somalia is a norm. Like this is a cultural norm to these people. And of course, that's not a defense. It's still a crime. But you wonder to what degree it is normalized so much that people don't even think it's weird necessarily. It's just it's a thing you do. It's how you make money. It's a job like any other almost.
Yeah. Well, it is a part of their culture. And like, look, a lot of African nations are kleptocracies, but it is interesting that of the people that we imported into the United States of America, like we got the thieves. Like that's very strange. Like, you know, when we bring in like Nigerian women, like for whatever reason, we get the nurses. Like hear a Nigerian female name. That woman is a nurse.
The ones who
or
scam stay
nursing
there.
School.
And they email you about how there's a fortune in your name and they need your social security number.
Well, the men are all princes, obviously, you know, that need a check from you. But the women, like they almost are all like nurses. Like that's the career path that they go to. Like it's actually very unusually high, the amount of nurses we get from Nigeria, or the percentage of Nigerians that turn out to be nurses. But from Somalia, it appears that we're just getting straight up scammers, and we're going to uncover more scams. And it's also like a combination of Tim Walz's government being totally incompetent, because like how many Medicaid fraud schemes are you going to go through? Like I've seen news segments where they have like people that were going through drug addiction. They're supposed to get housing.
Yes, that was another piece of it.
They go to they go to the office of that place, like the listed address of the from the website, which by the way, the website has stock images on it and it says caregiver name for all their doctors. Like, but they go to the office and the local news guy's like, oh, he's like suite 414 in this building. He's like, I was here 3 months ago when I covered this other Medicaid billing scheme. So they're even located in the same building.
Well, that was the thing about yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you were going to mention, but I'm sure you saw the case that was overturned by a judge recently.
Yes.
And that guy likewise ran his business out of a mailbox, but there were many other home health care or Medicaid provider operations out of that same mailbox. And that's how you know it's anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're totally right. And the thing is like the one I referenced is like they had at least theoretically they had a desk in an office, like that did exist. And there was a logo, but the mailbox one, remember the judge overturned that and said that they needed to find like alternative theories to guilt, which I didn't know was the prosecution's job to be a second defense attorney, but who knows, that judge thought so. But like they bought furniture, like $22,000 of furniture to furnish an office that was a mailbox.
They also had to buy nice cars to get to the mailbox to check the mail.
Who doesn't like transportation? Like we understand that, but
even
like,
if it was a legit business, you're right, they'd have to have it. But
you know, like Matt, both you and I like run a business to like a certain extent, right? Like, have you ever thought it was a good idea, legal or good legal theory, to transfer all of your money or a significant portion of your business money directly into your personal bank account without paying taxes on it, without filing any paperwork, and then withdrawing like 40% of it? He transferred $1 million, if you guys don't know, in this case, to his personal bank account, took out like almost $400,000 in cash.
See,
and like God knows what he did with it.
It's like the cases where there's hardly any attempt to cover the tracks like that. Yeah. No, I've got a guy who makes sure all my business operations are above board, but it's a little bit beside the point. But one reason I make sure I don't cut corners like that is not just because I don't want the IRS or the feds coming after me in general, but man, and I'm not calling for it. Please don't, everybody at the FBI or the IRS or whatever. But I think the business operations of content creators, you want to talk about tax evasion? There's probably a lot going on in this industry. Again, listen, I'm not trying to simp for the feds. I'm just saying
I have to say is there's a difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. I don't know what that difference is, but I'm told that that's a thing that you should say in these situations. But no, like it is true. Like, I mean, listen, there's some sketchy operations. There's some people who have viewership that like is minuscule, but like drive a car that costs like more than 10 times mine plus my rent put together. And you're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. But that's neither here nor there. They might be having a small Somali Connect investing in one of these businesses or whatever.
Well, I think we both need Somali agents at this point, and we'll be sent for life.
But that was my favorite thing. Is like they cited that $8 billion in potential Somali activity because, you know, they try to defend them by saying, here's everything that they produce. And then you do the math and you realize that they're earning, what, $6,000 per Somali, which is horrible. And then they're like,
that was the defense point, right? Yeah, they generated $500 million for the economy, but there's like 80,000 of them.
But they said that they were like, oh, they're responsible for $8 billion in activity. And I was reading this article. First of all, it's based on some 2021 study. But second, it cites their progress by getting into the home healthcare industry.
So that's factored in to the value added. Oh,
so it's like they have all these businesses where they happen to commit fraud. Like 100 plus of those Somali autism clinics are under investigation. Like 100 of them. Like right now, at this moment, 100.
Yeah, which is a huge percentage of them that even exist, as far as I understand. Yeah,
but that's cited as their economic activity that they started all those businesses, and it's like this is one of the craziest things. And again, they know the game, and this is like why the Somalis got to go, in my opinion, because it's like one thing if you have like bad actors and bad apples or whatever, but they know the game too well. Because every time they get in trouble, they accuse whoever's accusing them of racism. So when the Feeding Our Future, like their payments obviously didn't make any sense. Department of Education has these children in the school system. They're like, this doesn't make sense. Like we're recommending you cut off the payments to them. They sue for racial discrimination. In the appeals, if you look at them, racial discrimination, they go on TV. They have their representatives like Ilhan Omar and all these people saying like, oh, well, it's really complicated and they have to learn about our ways in our society. Yeah. Again, they're like saying it's like a cultural clash and you're just kind of being racist. So they know that game. And apparently that works for the potential vice president of the United States, Governor Tim Walz, because they've done nothing on these cases. Like this is all the feds.
I mean, I didn't know the degree to which Ilhan Omar was connected to this, although one probably could have inferred it earlier. Tim Walz, too, though. I am of the opinion that that guy was also in on it, that it was more than just a willful blind eye, that there's some kind of participation. It's the only thing that explains this. It's on such a scale that I can't. The level of incompetence is beyond even him, I think. So we need to investigate those people for sure. But you talk about the Somalis got to go. I'm not even saying I disagree, given the record. But that it's such a mess legally. I know we're going to send ICE into the Twin Cities, and I'm sure a lot of them are there illegally. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these people are perfectly legal. A lot of them were born here. They're second generation. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what is the solution to this problem?
Well, that's the other thing. There's an investigation because of the money ones getting so much play, like the marriage fraud investigation that the feds also launched, where they returned a bunch of indictments, also Somalis, also in Minnesota. Like that one's not getting that much attention. They're also scamming in through marriages. I mean, everybody knows the famous Ilhan Omar rumor, but this is very common. And there's like local news reports. And honestly, like the Minneapolis, like local news media, I've never seen this until I started looking into this. Like most local news media covers crime, right? Like that, I find a lot of stories through them where it's like this crime happened and then they look up the guy, you find out he's released a billion times, you know, same old stuff. I cover on my channel all the time. Go to the Minneapolis local news stations and it's like fraud for months. Like fraud, they might not say it's Somalis, but they'll be like Abdul Muhammad, like blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, like you get the hint. Like, that's all the local news is doing. They are uncovering it. Like this is the system. Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota. And I say Minneapolis because Jacob Fry and like local programs have been schemed too. But like state of Minnesota gives all the money to Somalis. And then Tim Walz gives the people who are stealing awards. He takes photos with them. Ilhan Omar proposes bills to make sure they get federal money mixed in with their theft. And then like that, the numbers go out of control. The budgets blow up in all these programs beyond what anybody expected. And then the local news media like does one segment asking a question and the whole thing blows up because it's a paper tiger. Then the feds investigate, then they indict, then the local news covers the indictment, all of this. And then somebody bothers to ask Tim Walz if he's going to do anything about it. He's like, the feds are handling it.
Well, then Keith Ellison this week was saying, no, he wouldn't do anything differently, the attorney general of the state of Minnesota. But part of his scapegoating, his explanation, is that the feds were slow to it. Okay, so anything but fault and responsibility for the state officials where this is happening. We know he was meeting with Feeding Our Future people around the same time too. So
and I don't begrudge like Omar and Ellison and Walz for getting campaign donations from Feeding Our Future. Like obviously they should return that to the taxpayer because that's where that money came from. But you know, if you're committing a fraud, you want good PR and you'll donate to politicians that are in power to kind of get them off your back. But like Ilhan Omar promoting these people and like not noticing that these people that she knows and live in her district that are supposedly doing charity are becoming multimillionaires and driving like Ferraris. Like anytime I'm not saying anything because maybe like Somalis have like also got into gangster rap and like we just haven't heard about it yet.
There's the one guy from Captain Phillips. He gets to ride a jet ski around Lake Minnetonka, but only him. He's the only one. That's what I'm saying.
It's like if you see a Somali in a $200,000 car. And you don't know him as a gangster rapper or that one actor or something.
Yeah,
like something's going on. Like that. This is not sensible because they don't like. Again, it's not like they hide their wealth. Like they buy coastal property. Like neighborhoods become like Somali, like enclaves. Like it's insane how this happens. And again, nobody was watching the store. Nobody was paying attention to this. And again, if I worked at a sports car company like Luxury Motors, and I see a Somali coming from an Aston Martin, like coming in for an Aston Martin, I'm be like, "What do you work in? Like home healthcare?" And just fucking call that shit in right away. 9 times out of 10, you just save the taxpayer like $10 million.
Yeah, but they don't care because the guy's got a sack of cash and they want the sale for their own promotion.
Do the transition, do the transaction, but then like call it in later, like
all right. Yeah, you can get your bonus and serve the public interest.
But
that's
like
right.
we didn't even get into like the money going to Al-Shabaab either intentionally or unintentionally. Like either it's like taxed by them basically as a remittance because they're transmitting this money through like very sketchy means, or it's literally being paid to them directly. Al-Shabaab commits violence. The violence is a justification for more Somali refugees. The refugees come here. It's like a vicious cycle of theft. It's madness. So yeah, like what people need to know is that there are way more Somali home healthcare companies. Like that article about how they've risen so much in that industry was back in 2021. A huge portion of them appear to be fraudulent. So like we're going to find way more schemes, way more frauds. And by the way, they shouldn't even be that hard to find. Everybody should be going, if you're a journalist, through the state of Minnesota's budget and look for programs that in the last 5 years or last 7 years have just exploded in terms of how much they're spending on these programs. Because again, that autism one, 1 million in the first year, 2 million in the second year, 5 years later, 240 million, a 200 times, not 200%, 200 times increase. Come on.
A lot of autism problems for the Somali kids in Minnesota, but that's my.
We need to send real autists to go fucking look at the books.
We need to properly apply it. You're right. That's my guest, Sean Fitzgerald, actual justice warrior. You can find his YouTube channel and X accounts linked in the description. Before I let you go, Sean, probably don't have time to discuss it, but I do want to highlight another piece of your work that I think maybe my audience would be interested in, because I didn't see this story, but for you, there was a street stabbing in Portland where, if I understand, a drug addict hobo guy stabbed a dude on the street, and then the dude called him an N-word. And because of the utterance of the N-word, a Portland jury now acquitted the hobo stabber guy. But you have full coverage of that on your channel.
Yeah, not guilty by reason of self-defense. The best part isn't even the N-word thing. Like, obviously, the story's horrible, and I feel terrible for the victim, despite what he said after he was victimized. But right there, where it says that this man came with a knife in hand, you have it highlighted, right?
Yeah.
He came with a knife in hand, ready to go on video. Like, he's already in the stabbing position. And he said that the reason he did that was because he wanted to trade the man the knife for cigarettes, also known as robbery, when I pull out a weapon and then ask you for something. But he wanted him to see what a good model knife is. But the craziest thing is this man who was not convicted here has been previously convicted of a crime, which is walking up to somebody with the blade in hand and stabbing them. And if I would have heard about this story like days ago when we went over topics, I would have sent this immediately to you.
Well, definitely go check that out. If people want more information on this story, acquitted by reason of N-word, Sean's got coverage of it on his channel.
The N-word defense is unstoppable.
It's a new doctrine legally, as far as I'm aware. Anyway,
when that surveillance footage becomes available, everybody has to watch it because we're going to see this man come with knife in hand to start the fight, and then that's self-defense. It's crazy.
All right, well, find Sean's links in the description. Sean, is there anything else you want to promote before you're out of here?
No, that's it. That's it. But thank you for having me on. I had a great time. I love these stories.
Thank you for stopping by. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to you too.
All right.
Later.
There we go. Sean Fitzgerald, actual Justice Warrior. Find his links in the description. I'm going to go get Mark back. We will catch up with your super chats and get back into the news.
Stand back and stand by.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Matt.
Thanks again.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say what you just covered there. It's crazy what's going on in Minnesota. Like, they have to be really investigating this stuff and rounding up Walz and Omar and everybody. Once you find out, when they say like, oh, the Somalians, they're contributing whatever it is, $80 million, and then like, oh, it's all fraud. And then it's all going back to Somalia and supporting terrorism. So okay,
it's worse than just fraud. It's actually
they should be in Gitmo, right? You're supporting terrorism. There's no way you didn't know about it.
Well, that's to me where you start. You know, the question of how to deal with this, like I said, is very legally dicey given the legal status of these people. But I think it's a very reasonable assumption. It's not even an assumption. It's backed by evidence that needs to be explained. How did this happen, and what did these politicians know and when? Start by holding them accountable to make sure this crap stops now. That's a good starting point. But what you have in Minneapolis and beyond now, even all the way out to Green Bay, you have a 100,000 or so people, part of this culture, not only that has challenges oftentimes in terms of ability to do traditional forms of work, but as we discussed, just is culturally conditioned to defraud.
Yeah.
And if you don't let them fraud, they're going to collect welfare at insanely high level. Like, what do you do to solve this? I have no... I have ideas, but
okay. Well, you know, so this is what's brilliant. So two things. Like, the first is like the problem with Somalians is they're very narcissistic, and they're smart enough to realize that they could come to America and take advantage of a high trust society, but they're not smart enough to shut up about it. And so they're like going around bragging. And then what Trump did with calling Somalia a shithole is brilliant, because then they're all like, no, it's paradise. And of course, the immediate response to that is like, okay, then you can go back there.
Yeah, then you
look even, since it's the most amazing country in the history of countries. I think there's no problem then.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. I was thinking it's just the commentary prompts you to look into the current state of Somalia and investigate for yourself. But you're right. If it is so awesome, what's the problem with going back?
Yeah. Well, and I see all the people all the time like, oh, they're Somali Americans. Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what they are. As soon as I hear something American, the something to me just means not. Like, it's It's like it's the same with trans. Like it's a trans man. Oh, you mean not man? Okay, yeah.
What about French Canadians? Does it apply to them?
Yeah, exactly the same. It works everywhere. It's a universal rule.
It's not racist. It applies to the French. Yeah,
they're not. I live in the French part of Canada, and their term for Canada is the rest of Canada. That's like it's Canada. They want to leave. We want them to. It's perfect.
Yeah, I've heard about that Quebec separatist movement for a while. Although if they do separate, I guess you've got a decision to make. What Canada are you going to?
I don't really care. I'm for Canada, basically. I'm pro-Canadians, not the fiction that is our country. So we're a people, and I'm not going to bore.
Speaking of
Southern brothers with our politics, but
speaking of Canadian news, you see Trudeau's new girlfriend.
Yeah, they're perfect.
If people didn't see, Katy Perry is now with former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Do you buy it as authentic, or is there some other motive for this relationship?
Oh, there's nothing about him that's ever been authentic, but I think it's the perfect analogy. Like leaving his wife and kids to go gallivant around the world with a pop star is the perfect analogy for how he ran our country. And so it's ideal. Yeah, he's a shithead, and they're perfect for each other.
Got to catch up with some super chat here. We'll get back into the news over on YouTube. The Cisco 2025 is peak Nelson fatigue. Thank you for that reference to Wednesday. On Wednesday, Mark, Joshy was on, and we were looking at a food stamp story. No, that was last Sunday. It wasn't Wednesday. It was last Sunday. It was a food stamp story from Tennessee, and there was a beneficiary of color who was not pleased that the big, beautiful bill from the earlier in the year, over the summer, it installed work requirements to collect food stamps. And it's not just you have to work. You have to work 20 hours a week, as in part-time, or be going to school, or volunteer. Like even if you have trouble getting work, you can volunteer and still collect food stamps. And Nelson said,
"Don't be useless."
Yes.
No.
And by the way, it has exceptions for people who have young children that they need to take care of, people who are disabled, people who can't work for any number of reasons, all covered. Not Nelson, though. Nelson is able-bodied, no kids, 38 years old. He's a felon who says he can't find work, and when told he needs to at least volunteer to collect food stamps, he said, quote, "That's some bullshit," on the local news story.
That is some bullshit, Matt.
Yeah. And
volunteering's for fools.
There's a lot of Nelson fatigue going on. You're right. That lady in Wisconsin has peak Nelson fatigue. Perfect Gentleman. Every show that starts with MJ's "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough" is a winner. You know, I love working with that song. I know I have like 5 or so that I put in the rotation. And I can't always use that one because it's a little longer. It's a little more involved. But I do love the way that one hits. It's one of my favorites.
It's second best to "Semi-Charmed Life."
"Semi-Charmed Life" is a great one. I mean, it's just a great song.
It just gets me going.
So, yeah.
It's provocative.
Good. That's what I'm aiming for. Newbie of Death reviews. Sorry, Matt. I'm at something called. I'm at Wet Leg tonight. Can't say if you read this.
You are gay. LMAO.
Maybe next Sunday. Well, I press the button when commanded. Whatever's going on. I don't know what Wet Leg is, but all the best with
Jet
Wet
lag,
Leg.
But wet.
It says I'm at Wet Leg.
Oh, at Wet Leg.
Tonight. Yeah, I don't know. Good luck with I hope your leg dries out though.
We're too old, Matt. We don't get what the kids are doing.
Yeah. VV, they don't have jobs to be fired from. Proctologist. Isn't it proctologist? But this is with a G. But I think that's what he means.
I think he's referencing what I said about the Somalis.
Right.
That you can't go after them, but I don't get the VV or the proctologist.
Well, VV is just his name, so we don't have to decipher that.
That's understood then.
They don't have jobs to be fired from, says the proctologist.
Is that
Is it some kind of butt joke?
Please clarify, VV.
Sorry about you. I'm sure this is hilarious and it's way over my head.
Somebody's laughing real hard right now.
There's some kind of butt joke in there. That's hilarious. I'll figure it. It'll dawn on me later. I apologize for my.
Please enlighten me.
Misunderstanding. Injured Guardian says, FFR, what's the female form of the name Nelson? So we have Nelson, the food stamp collector, who says that's some bullshit about having to work. I think it's a LaDonna or a
Donna Niquisha.
Yeah, I mean the reason I go with LaDonna is, of course,
It's not against the law, ho. Fuck you.
she's a legend. Or what's the name of the woman on the R train in New York? The one who's very respectful.
I'm being respectful, bitch.
We need a name for those people. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to decide on one. Injured Guardian says the 9-volt batteries were for his smoke detectors. I don't know about that. Trend. I think his he was doing plumbing. And
he
must have cracked the code.
Batteries.
Yeah, if he figured out the plumbing for the pipes, you mean?
Yeah.
So he was doing a whole bunch of
responsible homeowner.
You know the thing about the pipe bombs that we didn't get into also, the kitchen timers were for 1 hour. So he planted them overnight. If there was any degree of intent to have them explode, which my understanding is they were live, like they could have exploded and did not, or were theoretically capable of exploding. But why would you have the hour kitchen timer on there unless that was just for show? Like it doesn't make sense to leave something overnight and have an hour timer on it.
Is there a chance he was incompetent?
High chance, yeah.
Walks like a girl.
Speaking of esoteric Unbound says,
or we're being lied to, Matt.
Oh, well, it's coming from the FBI. Yeah. Even if I should trust the current FBI leadership more than former FBI leadership, that place has a habit of corrupting people. So what's going on there? Anyway. Once we're finished up with Super Chat, if you have more thoughts on any of the pipe bomber stuff or the Somali stuff, definitely chime in, because there's a million angles on these two stories. But Esoterica Unbound, on that theme, whenever the FBI starts making claims of competence, you should start questioning whatever else they are saying. That is how that press conference went. And first of all, it was Pam Bondi who walked out first, and we all have questions about Pam Bondi's performance. And that was the explanation. The prior FBI was incompetent or corrupt, but we came in and we looked at the evidence. We had fresh eyes on it, and look, we've done the impossible. There's the question of, should I believe you? And then the other question of, you're looking at the evidence assembled by the prior FBI and believing that to be credible? Like, I hope you did your due diligence in terms of independently reviewing that information for accuracy. That's all I'm saying. And they took 10 months, so hopefully they did.
I mean, but there's not enough there to like credibly doubt anything. Like it's just all so sparse and random. I get really frustrated when like, just give me something that's got something concrete and a flow to it so that I can, it's all just kind of like random bullshit. Like, okay, they pinged a phone with data that wasn't available before and now it is. And yeah, it's frustrating. Come on, Cash, like, restore our faith in the institutions.
Maybe it's an order too tall for anybody, but yeah,
maybe they have too much information. They have to lie to us because we're plebs. And
yeah, the problem, like the Kash Patel and the current DOJ and FBI leadership, the problem is everybody fumbled on Epstein, so whatever credibility they may have earned was burned on that. And then for Kash, I think that at times he's tried to be transparent and put evidence or claims out there, but then it's just been wrong or retracted later. Like with the Charlie Kirk assassination, when Kash said we have a suspect in custody and they were talking about that old man who was just yelling nonsense, then came back on that, and then they got Tyler Robinson days later. Kash has been on both sides of this, where you have the Epstein debacle and it looks like you're covering it up. More than looks like. I mean, it seems like they are. They're telling us they have all these documents in their possession, and then they're not releasing them, and now they're compelled by Congress to release them in T-minus a couple weeks. But then, so on one side, it's not enough information. On the other, it's information, if not too much, too hastily. Like you did not verify this, and you didn't take the time to make sure it's correct, so now it's wrong. It's been, I mean, I'm not saying that I would prefer the prior FBI by any means, but there's a lot of learning on the job here, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think you're always stuck in the middle where the problem is they're either people that are too new at it, who might be so new that they could still be honest, but they're going to have a degree of incompetence due to their noviceness. Or you have people who've been doing it for so long that there's just so many, like, it's like the liar's paradox. You lie so much, you're going to get caught, and then you end up just like lying to cover your lies. And they're kind of in that thing where they're like, well, I can't tell that, and I have to cover this up, and I have to do that because I'm protecting these people, and I want to pursue that. And it takes somebody who's been doing it for a really long time, who at that point is just completely jaded and doesn't want to tell you anything. So again, I think the problem is depending on agencies like this to ever properly inform the general public is a fool's errand. It's not their job. It's never going to happen. So don't hope for it. Are you going to face disappointment? Sorry, folks. Sorry, Matt.
We can't vote our way out of this. We can't trust our way out of this. And Somalis are going to fraud for the rest of their lives.
We can take care of that one.
The solutions are very difficult.
There's a beautiful paradise we can send them back to.
Well, yeah, I guess. VV also says, but Matt, our method of detecting autism has gotten betterer. Well, that's the argument with autism in general, too. Yeah, it's not just, wow, suddenly like a huge percentage of Somali kids are autistic. That is the great debate on autism in general. People think maybe they're vaccine related. People think that it's just overdiagnosed for any number of reasons, but the argument for the people who think that it is all correctly identified and diagnosed, that's the argument. We've just become, it's always existed in a large volume. We've just become better at identifying it.
Yeah, we used to just call them retards and put them in a special room. Now.
Oh, dang it. That was a perfect transition because that's our next story is Tim Walz.
Let's do it.
Well,
do we have more chats? Okay.
I just have one more chat, but you almost nailed it. It was almost perfect. Yakko over on Rumble. I thought the feds caught January 6th protesters using their cell phone location data, but somehow the pipe bomb suspect wasn't traceable until now. There probably is a lot of inconsistency there too. You're right. Is the DOJ complicit, incompetent, both? It just doesn't add up. Yeah, I mean, if you're... I'll say that the evidence against Brian Cole presented without all the context around it seems pretty sufficient. Like if you had told me without the bullshit of the last 5 years, oh, we found this guy who happened to buy all this pipe bomb stuff and his cell phone pinged in the area of the HQs and he's 5'7", which kind of matches the somewhat short stature that we see on camera. Yeah, all right, that makes sense. But now we're supposed to believe that this information was just sitting around for years, and this guy was.
I've revised my theory. I'm going back to my original one that the whole thing was a sham and that it was an inside job in order to get the senators or whatever they were out of the building so that the FBI could come in. And so it's the FBI covering for the FBI because I think it's too big of a tell even for Cash to come out and completely discredit the agency and say the whole thing was a giant false flag. And then they realized that this story about the girl wasn't going to hold up, so they quickly manufactured this guy to try and make it believable to people such as myself who were suspicious. And they're covering. They're trying to keep legitimacy for the agency because now they're running it, and what it did was so egregious that if they were to tell us the truth about all of it, they would be completely delegitimized. And so that's what I'm sticking to.
Maybe I guess that's maybe the most plausible explanation I've heard in a just a whirlwind of nonsense here. Mm-hmm. But all right, we'll see how it plays out.
And vaccines cause autism.
Okay, RFK, calm down. We're gonna.
It's both, and we now way overdiagnose.
Well, we're gonna stop super chats there.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
Appreciate you, super chatters. We'll come back to you at the end of the show. But yeah, hopping back into the news as almost perfectly transitioned by Mark. We're returning to the Tim Walz retard story, which was a topic of discussion last weekend. On Sunday, Joshie and I were talking about the original Donald Trump Truth Social post in which he called Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, seriously retarded. And I don't know about
I was
you,
waiting
Mark,
for a sounder there.
I got...
gotta have something.
Oh, I got this one. Oh, wait, no. Let's see what I got. We could do this.
Are you retarded?
Does that work?
That's all right.
Okay. But the most offensive thing about the Trump post is the gigantic paragraph without any breaks. But you got to dig all the way down into it to find the accusation that Tim Walz is retarded. So Tim Walz, everybody pretended to be very offended by this, and the Rolling Stone has a new piece out this week, which I'll get to momentarily. But during commentary with reporters this week about the state budget, which has been entirely consumed by Somalis, but supposedly they have some money left, Walz said that Inspired by Donald Trump's post, people are driving to his house and slurring him from their cars. They're calling him retarded. They're doing drive-by slurrings. They're calling him retarded.
Drive-by R slurs.
Yeah. Here's what he said.
This creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence. So deeply concerned.
First thing they called you a retard. Next, they're slapping your ass in New York City.
Yeah.
Just
even if true, that's called patriotism. Like calling I don't care if it's Donald Trump. I don't care if it's Tim Walz. I think calling a politician a retard is as American as apple pie and should be celebrated. That's why I texted my good friend in Minnesota. I said, did you do your civic duty this week? He said, what are you talking about? I said, did you drive by Tim Walz's house and call him a retard? I don't think he's done it quite yet, but I hope he will. If it was more convenient for me, I would do it.
Post it. We need a hashtag. We need to make this trend stick. I want to see this carried on for a long time.
I don't believe for a second that maybe like a guy did it, but I hope it's a trend now.
How did he know that he stands outside just watching the cars in case someone R-words him? Yeah.
Point is, bring back disdain for politicians. That's not a party thing. That's just advocating it for all of them.
Yeah, and if you are the sensitive type, any slur will do.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
But I'm not going to take lectures from a guy who, of course, has called his political opponents fascists and Nazis.
Right.
That was him earlier this year. Our country is being stolen by fascists and Nazis. So he's going to warn us about the danger of using the R word and how that invites violence. But he gets to say that the country is being taken over by fascists and Nazis without any responsibility for the moral obligations that commentary might bring to people. But it's just the R word. That's the only one that causes people to become violent. And there's a hilarious article in the Rolling Stone this week. It's actually yesterday. Miles Klee. This is some very interesting reporting from Miles Klee at the Rolling Stone. Headline, A Complete History of the R Word, the MAGA movement's favorite slur.
Are you retarded?
Yeah, that's a big statement. We got a lot of slurs. And
that's exactly where I was going.
Top 10.
But where does it rank? Because I think it is decidedly behind.
You're a faggot.
Yeah. There's the one we covered earlier. I would say it's
Do you think it's behind N as well?
4 or 5, yeah.
Okay. So
4th or 5th, I think would rank. It's in it's top 10, but I would never have the presumption to put it at the top without some serious investigative polling.
Well, that's the thing. He spent all this time investigating the origin of the use of the word. He just assumed that it is the top of the hierarchy, and there's no substantiation in the story for that. But you're exactly right to question that premise. I think that's not necessarily true.
No, that's the most insulting thing I've ever heard.
But here's the history in the Rolling Stone. Again, Miles Klee, intrepid reporter.
Does he excavate
the
use of R?
Because Donald Trump's
I'm fascinated.
His use of the epithet, the R word, didn't just come out of thin air. It has a context. And what is the context? It's that Elon Musk said the R word like 30 times.
That's where it started. It was Elon. Okay, now I know. Yeah.
He tweeted it in 2024 about 30 times. He found them all. Miles did. And there's a Joe Rogan episode from April where Joe declared that the R word is back. Now, there's one more piece in here too, and that's the rise of the Twitter account. I'm sure you've seen it, Retard Finder.
Mm-hmm.
Retard Finder went viral in the last year. The guy who
finds retards.
He was outed as an Australian. Actually, I think he was openly an Australian already before the location reveal stuff. Anyway, an Aussie doing a social service of responding to retarded posts and identifying them for everyone to observe. That's what Retard Finder is, if you haven't seen that on X.
Yeah, no, it's great. But this goes to this the basis of what a slur even is, because I've seen this also that Pakis are really annoyed when they get called Pakis, which is just short, like it's literally the first 4 letters of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And someone who tweeted like, oh, that's offensive. You never heard someone call an Aussie as a slur. I'm like, I've never said Aussie without a negative connotation.
I don't use it negatively. Is it supposed to be?
I love mocking Aussies. And
Well,
it's a love mockery. And I call them Aussies, short for Australians.
Yeah.
And because they're hilarious.
I've never even heard the claim that that's disrespectful.
It's not. That's my thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, it's because
I thought someone was saying that seriously.
No, it's serious for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
I find
Australians
them,
only.
highly, yeah.
Or you just
No,
want to be
Pakis,
interpreted as mocking
Australians.
them.
I mock all the, Canucks. Is that, it's hard. I don't know if we could take being called Canucks.
What are we, Yanks? Do you guys
Yeah,
have a
Yanks,
derogatory term for us in Canada?
Americans.
Yeah, that's the same here. Canadian is a put down.
Yeah, that's it. It's just the word.
Yeah. But okay, so that's the history. Elon Musk tweeted it, Joe Rogan said it, and there's a retard finder viral account on X. And the rest of this is just paragraphs and paragraphs interviewing academics about professors of slurology, talking about how this is clearly an intentional movement by the right wing to restore the R word. Now, here's an alternative explanation. The use of the word retarded has increased in correlation with the prevalence of retardation in our society. I don't have a study to confirm that, but I'm pretty confident that retardation is on the rise. And so use of the word retard to describe the retardation is correspondingly on the rise. What do you think about my theory?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Plausible? I don't know what the slurologists would say about it, but
hate. It's hate.
What is this? Read this sentence. Louvel, I got to contact this professor. Louvel Anderson, head of the philosophy department at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, is that how I say it? Written extensively on the lexical category of slurs. This is what I'm saying. Like, I joke when I say slurology, but they're kind of
It's
serious.
actually a thing. Wow.
Yeah.
See, there is slurology. I mean, this is my Gen X cred, is that I do find it offensive if someone were to refer to someone who was like mentally handicapped as a retard. Like, to me, that's inappropriate. And I'd be like, what are you doing? Shut up. Same thing if someone even to their face called a homosexual the F word, or a
Well, that's the Louis C.K.
person,
bit. Was
the
he
R
being
word.
a faggot, or was he?
Well, that's exactly it. Shut up and suck that guy's dick, right?
Yeah.
That's the joke. Or the Chris Rock thing. Like, there's black people and there's the other ones. And don't be the other ones, right? And that's slurology. Like, we all understand this. It's that only 10 years ago, the retards on the left started to pretend they didn't understand it, and then it's that classic millennial woes tweet of leftist discourse, just that being them pretending to not understand things so they can be offended and have stupid arguments.
Yeah, that is really insightful.
Thank you.
To anybody who thinks that offensive language of any kind is on the rise, I will fight that to the end of the earth. Number one, I remember music culture growing up, and there were all kinds of bad words. But if you grew up in the era that I did, playing Halo and Call of Duty 10 to 20 years ago, you know that every lobby you went into, it was nothing but
Hello, you faggot! So you're a queer, aren't you? Queer!
that was the entire language, and they've taken that away from us. So it's not on the rise. It's been censored off the internet, actually.
And then I missed that, but I went to school in the 80s, and very similar to a Halo or Call of Duty chat room.
Yeah. The entire senior hall was a Halo lobby, I'm sure. Was the R word a big word when you were in school?
I don't remember it ever not being.
Okay.
Everything, my entire vocabulary was based around retard and faggot. That's how we defined everything. Was just levels of retarded and gay.
You say that past tense. Is that not the current status?
Okay, fine. Yeah. It's coming back, Matt. That's why they're freaking out about the resurging prevalence of such beautiful terminology.
Yeah, that's what I would want clarification on them from. Is it coming back? Are they saying it's rising to new levels or just coming back? Because I would agree with the premise that it's coming back to old levels.
Yeah, but these people, history started in the Obama term for them, and they don't remember. The 90s didn't exist.
Well, that's unfortunate. There was a lot of I don't know. I know I'm getting old when I look back at like the 2005 to 2015. And I know like the Obama presidency was a problem for a whole bunch of reasons, but culturally it's like that was the height. Like the internet was at its peak. And then the internet has been taken away from us slowly over time.
Well, and it was also, that was the peak of like shit lib prevalence. They owned the culture, they had everything. And this was the peak of cancel culture and feminism and everything. And then it was right around Trump's first run. Milo, like that Gamergate was all 2014, 2015, 2016, and it's just been their prevalence has been on a steady decline, and our ascendance has just begun.
They've taken it away slowly, but now
the days of glory.
Now the retard resurgence is on. So that's great. Speaking of homosexuals, by the way, Joe Biden gave a speech this week to some sort of homosexual event, homosexual gathering, the LGBTQ plus leaders conference in DC. I don't know what that is, but that's what he was talking to, or that's who he was talking to. And
isn't that the Democrat Party?
It's something distinct. I don't know. Supposedly a different organization.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe Biden his premise was that Trump is undoing the Constitution with his disregard for the gays and the transgender people. And in making this point, he did his trademark yelling. But speaking of coming back, this is like Biden of yesteryear. We are the United States of something.
We just have to get up. As long as we keep the faith, summon hope, and get back up and remember who in the hell we are. We're the United States of Amerigotit. That's who we are, in the U.S. And there's nothing.
We're the United States of the thing.
Forgot about that one. That was a classic too.
I like that.
It's quoted officially in The Guardian here as we are the United States of America. Amerigotit.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I heard. Yeah.
My dad talked to me about this story. He said, I saw it quoted as America got tits. But
who's the guy? I love God and tits.
Something. America got tits.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was quite that.
It's not a right quote, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's America got tits.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of the rise of retardation, though, Joe Biden, have we considered that the rise of the use of the word retarded has been to explain the behavior and the observations about Joe Biden? I think that's another theory about the rise of the word.
Yeah.
But before we get into hoax hate, some major legal news for this current Supreme Court term. On Friday, the Supreme Court agreed to hear the case on Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. They're going to hear the merits of the case. This is really big news. Recall that when Trump took office, he issued an executive order on birthright citizenship, largely undoing the status quo. The idea being that you're a citizen automatically if you're born here.
Amazing.
Under what I believe is a mistaken understanding of the 14th Amendment. That is the status quo. Trump said no and issued this executive order saying, if you're born here but your parents aren't legal or they're here temporarily, you are not a citizen automatically. Now, critically, the 14th Amendment that's cited in support of this birthright citizenship idea has the phrasing in there, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and is subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So as we've talked about a few times in this legal fight, it's going to be a question of what does that mean for the Supreme Court. And I know I've made this argument several times, but just in case people are unfamiliar, there's all kinds of reason to believe that subject to the jurisdiction thereof means people excludes people of foreign nations, excludes foreign nationals. First, the plain language, if we believe that subject to the jurisdiction thereof just means here, you're subject to our jurisdiction because you're here, well, then the phrasing is repetitive.
Yeah, people it's redundant, right? They could have just said here.
People who are born here and who are also here are citizens. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Second, federal law, there was federal law written before the passage of the 14th Amendment, post-Civil War, pre-14th Amendment ratification, 1868, the Civil Rights Act of 1866. And that dealt with a lot of the same issues. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 phrased it, all persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power are declared to be citizens. Okay. They changed the phrasing a little bit. You could argue, well, why did they change the phrasing? They wanted it to mean something else. I don't think so. I think they just phrased it to mean the same thing in different words. We know what the common understanding was at the time because it was in the federal law 2 years prior. There's also the question, as I've brought up on the show before, you had the Indian Citizenship Act of 1924, which extended citizenship to all the tribal members. Why was that necessary if they already were citizens by virtue of their birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment? Congress would not pass that law if they believed it was already done by the 14th Amendment. So these are all the questions that the Supreme Court is now going to consider when they hear arguments in this case. The court has previously issued on matters of process. Remember, we had some rulings on the scope of injunctions from district court judges. That's how we got those, or that decision was through the birthright citizenship executive order. Now we're going to get an evaluation of what birthright citizenship means or doesn't mean under the 14th Amendment, or what the 14th Amendment's intent was. There is a prior late 1800s Supreme Court decision on this matter that dealt with a Chinese guy who was excluded under some Chinese exclusionary laws back at the end of the 1800s. The difference
do those still stand, the Chinese Exclusion Act, or was that repealed?
I don't know if the law still stands, but the Supreme Court decision, Wong Kim Ark, whatever the guy's name was, is still valid. The difference with that, though, is that Wong Kim Ark's parents were legally here. I forget if they were citizens or they were just a green card holder, what their status was, but they were legally in the United States.
He wasn't an anchor baby.
No, that decision did not consider illegal immigrants, which Trump's executive order deals with partly. So you have that factor. Then you just, I also think that the idea that the intent of the 14th Amendment was birthright citizenship is just bunk.
Yeah,
so it's possible that Wong is just wrong.
Yeah, no, it's an intentional misreading and misrepresentation done to destroy America. It's very clear. It's the same thing they do with the Second Amendment, where they're like, oh, a well-regulated militia.
Yeah.
It's like, no, okay, these are enemies of your country and they want to destroy it, and they will manipulate language however they can, and you need to fight them every step, and don't let them do it. I mean, you're lucky you even have the amendment to appeal to, because we have, if there's a story, if you want to get infuriated, because I don't even know what the legal precedent is in Canada, but there was someone here named Omar Khader. His parents were from Afghanistan. They lived in Canada for something like 6 months. He was born while they were here for 6 months. They went back to Afghanistan with him. He grew up there, fought with Al-Qaeda against the Americans, killed 2 Americans, was captured by the American army, taken to Guantanamo Bay, and then sued Canada for not getting him extradited and won $10 million because he's a Canadian.
What? Dude, he's more impressive than the Somali scammers. Wow.
Look up the story.
He's accomplished.
Infuriating.
Holy cow. Yeah. When did that happen? I've never heard of this.
This was about 10 years ago, probably.
Okay.
He was at Guantanamo for something like 5 years. But yeah, Canadian, because he was born on Canadian soil and therefore had all the rights of a Canadian. And we didn't try to free a terrorist from Guantanamo. So now he owns them all in Edmonton.
He actually does? That's not... At least he invested his money back into the Canadian economy.
Right, at least, yeah.
God, man. Anyway,
this is why I go further. I don't think citizenship should even be allowed to be granted. It should be inherited only. Sorry. If your parents are born in the country, then you can be a citizen. Other than that, it takes away the incentive for people to try and manipulate stuff this way.
At bare minimum, there has to be something. Just being born on the soil cannot. That makes no sense. Yeah, and it's created the circuit. Even back in the founding era, the post-Civil War era, the time where these thoughts were organized and put into the Constitution. If you're designing a country, there's no way anyone would ever design it to say literally anybody who shows up and has a baby on this dirt is a citizen of this country.
Right. Well, it's the same argument they use of like, well, they were using muskets. It's like, yeah, well, airplanes didn't exist. So people couldn't just spend an afternoon flying in, having a baby and flying back. Right?
Yeah.
So if your argument that they couldn't have imagined rocket launchers is supposed to work against the Second Amendment, then the fact that there is new travel technology should work against the 14th.
Yeah, even if the travel is not easy, anybody can see the incentive structure that creates. And of course, we've seen that incentive structure realized where people show up just to have that anchor baby, have that baby be a citizenship, and therefore a path to legal presence, if not citizenship, for that family, for those parents, for all the people connected to that child. And we've seen that in practice for the last, really for the last 100 years since the Supreme Court decision. That's been the standard. But in terms of the volume of people, I mean, this is something that's in recent decades. But
well,
anyway,
no, it's directly increased along with the ease of travel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's a big part of it.
When you used to have to get on a boat and probably die, it wasn't so popular of an option.
Supreme Court will hear this case sometime in 2026, and then we'll get a decision. Usually, when we usually do, the end of the term, late June, early July, and we'll have an answer. Now, I'm not optimistic that the court is actually going to undo birthright citizenship, but I think there's a very good argument for doing it, and I'll be very interested to see how the justices land here. I'll be watching this one very closely, probably more closely than any other decision this term. But let's get into some hoax hate to close.
And now the nobody saw it happen, but it's totally a product of Trump's America hoax hate crime of the week.
Ah, shit, it's backwards. You think they'll notice?
In Jacksonville, Florida, activists say the recent shooting of a man near his home should be charged and prosecuted as a hate crime. But hearing the description of what happened here, I have a lot of questions about the behavior that led up to the shooting. Here's the story.
McFarlane is now partially paralyzed after police say he was shot in the back by a neighbor's boyfriend. That man at Tyler Getchell now charged with attempted murder and is behind bars tonight in the Duval County Jail.
Basically, when you attack one of us, you attack all of us.
Echo Nova, an LGBTQ plus advocate, says what happened to Kyle McFarlane wasn't just a neighborhood argument.
This is an escalation of a series of hate attacks on Kyle and his home.
Investigators say November 22nd, McFarlane was collecting discarded furniture on Green Street, where he lives, for a bonfire, when his neighbors came out, yelling at him to leave. Detectives say a verbal argument escalated when his neighbor walked toward him, holding a belt. And moments later, her boyfriend, Tyler Getchell, fired a single shot, hitting McFarlane in the back. According to a police report, video shows McFarlane standing on the easement, not on his neighbor's property. Court documents and supporters pointing to earlier incidents, including signs with anti-LGBTQ plus language facing McFarlane's home and feces smeared on his walls. We've blurred these photos because of profanity, but they show slurs and hateful messages. While Getchell faces attempted murder charges, his girlfriend is not facing any charges at this time.
Quite a blatant just hate crime itself.
Nova now hopes prosecutors take a harder look at the case.
There is no reason to be hateful toward people, no matter their sexuality, their gender. The community is here standing with Kyle.
What size is that choker that guy's wearing? I didn't know they made them quite that large. Before I summarize the story,
I'm so confused.
Do you have
tried to follow? There was so much information just like front loaded into that story.
Yes.
I have because to me, I'm always like, why is it always these weird fucking love triangle? Who collects furniture for a bonfire? First of all, that threw me, and then I couldn't pay attention for the rest.
Right. Okay. So I went back and reviewed.
This?
Okay. Where is it? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we got. I have so many questions.
Jacksonville. There's Florida man dressed up as a woman involved here.
Question answered. Okay, that explains the furniture bonfire.
But does it though? Okay, so just
I don't know.
McFarlane. This is the gay guy who was shot. So the story is outside of a straight couple's home. Gay dude shot, paralyzed or possibly paralyzed now. Story as to why the shooting happened is gay guy McFarlane is collecting discarded furniture near his house. Okay. To start a bonfire. That's why you collect discarded furniture to start a bonfire. His neighbors, boyfriend and girlfriend, they come outside and they tell him to get off their property. these neighbors are the two that are involved in the confrontation. So gay dude collecting discarded furniture.
And these are the ones with the pictures. They have hate pictures.
At their house, they have a sign facing the house of the gay guy that I think says, "Fuck you, Twinkie fag," or something like that. Fuck you, T, something that ends in G. Okay. I think it's fuck you. And there's something about smearing poop on stuff too. There was something about.
I didn't understand if they were saying that the feces was smeared on the house of the shooter. Like
that part I couldn't. Let me see what the
on
story
his own
says
house, because they said his house was covered with anti-gay slurs and feces.
Okay, so language posted facing the gay guy's home. So this is the home of the couple with the discarded furniture, and they have this is not the gay guy's property, but facing his property. The sign that says "Fuck you, Twinkie fag," and then it says. Okay, signs with anti-LGBTQ language posted facing McFarland's home and feces smeared on his wall. So he's alleging, I think...
Who's his? Whose wall is the feces smeared on?
It sounds like they're saying the poop was smeared on the gay guy's wall. I don't know.
To me, it sounds like the poop is smeared on the wall facing the gay guy's house, along with the anti-gay marker writings.
Okay, so the fecal matter remains a mystery. That I don't have confirmation on. But so what we have is gay guy collecting furniture for fire outside of house of boyfriend and girlfriend who clearly hate him already because they have a sign that says "Fuck you, Twinkie fag."
Yeah, there's a history here.
Right. So
he goes. So if you are the gay guy and you're out bonfire furniture collecting, you think you'd avoid the house that's the "Fuck you, Twinkie fag" signs.
Well, that's the thing.
Isn't that like the first?
He didn't. And they say, "Get off our property." And the woman, the girlfriend, comes out with a belt and confronts him. And there's some sort of verbal argument, according to the story.
I dare you, fucking bitch.
Then it gets presumably violent because boyfriend guy shoots gay guy in the back. But this sounds to me like...
Is that a gay thing?
This is not, that's not an image of something inserted up his butt, as far as I know. I think that's the round in his back or the damage done to his back or something like that.
No, I meant the shooting him in the back. That was a bad. Bad joke.
No, he was actually shot by he took a projectile from a gun in his lower back.
He was projectiled from behind.
Yeah. Right. But this sounds like crazy. Okay, obviously there's some sort of existing neighborly dispute. Sounds like gay guy doesn't understand keep off their property. Harvesting discarded furniture to burn in a bonfire? That doesn't make any sense.
No.
The story says that he was on the easement, not on their property. This sounds like he's trying to steal stuff from their property.
Yeah,
maybe he's done that.
You can't discard furniture on the like. As far as I've never been to Jacksonville, but I'm assuming that the ordinance there are similar to anywhere else, and it would be on the. It would still have to be on your. You don't put your shit on the sidewalk. You put it at the front of your property. Your
typical garbage pickup is not going to do that. Like if it's a large piece of furniture, you have to take it somewhere.
Yeah.
The only time I've seen something like this is if it's on a sidewalk in front of a home that just says free, like they're trying to get rid of it and people can
Yeah, but
come
even
and
then,
take
you
it.
don't put it on the actual sidewalk. You put it like close to the sidewalk on your property, or else if you put it on the sidewalk, then you'd be fined for that because you're impeding traffic.
Yeah, the whole thing doesn't make any sense and sounds like it's cover for I was messing around on their property and possibly stealing stuff, and then I ended up in a confrontation and got shot, but now I made up a story about how I'm the victim because I'm gay, and I got Chris Farley in a wig to be my spokesman to come make it a sob story for me. That's what it sounds like to me.
I think I don't even know about stealing stuff. He was fucking around somehow.
Something like he was on the easement.
He was on their property, knowing he wasn't wanted on their property as per the signs. Still went on their property anyways.
What the heck?
Got himself shot and is now a victim because he's.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't on their property. I was on the easement taking stuff. It doesn't make that's not normal behavior.
So I'm guessing so he got shot and then he looked around. He's like, oh, there's some furniture there. That's what I was collecting, that furniture. And they're like, why? He's like, bonfire.
Very gay party next door.
The furniture.
I don't. Anyway, so and also it is telling that the police are not calling this a hate crime. They have yet to declare it a hate crime. Prosecutors are not calling it a hate crime. Only that very large man in a wig is calling it a hate crime. So I assume it could be just because they have a certain protocol that they have to go through before they're willing to say that. It could also be that they know some stuff. But this, like the woman at Cinnabon, even if you really hate the gays, even if you're very tired of gay behavior in general, nobody puts up a sign in their window that declares their hatred for gays, unless there's a particular gay that keeps harassing them and they want a message received by that person. So clearly there was some behavior.
Specific. You could have just had a MAGA flag, and it would have gotten the point across.
So I'll be curious to see if we get an update on this story, because it doesn't make any sense, and I don't buy it as
I don't think we will. I think it will disappear.
Chuck Schumer says he received MAGA bomb threats this week, or at least his offices in New York State did. He said that these threats were sent by email, and they were signed MAGA, and they came from email addresses that said
MAGA country, Matt. MAGA
right.
country. Yeah.
And there was bleach and nooses and all the. Also, the email addresses or contents of the emails made reference to the rigged 2020 election, but the emails straight from Brian Cole, apparently the white guy who did the pipe bombing. But here is Chuck Schumer on the Senate floor this week.
I was informed by New York law enforcement of multiple bomb threats made against my offices in Rochester, Binghamton, and Long Island. The bomb threats against my offices came with the email subject line MAGA and from an email address alleging the 2020 election was rigged. No one, no public servant, no staffer, no constituent, no citizen should ever be targeted for simply doing their job.
Well, I have to disagree with that.
If you're a corrupt politician who acts in unconstitutional or treasonous ways, you don't have a blank check to do whatever you want and say it's your job. I'm not justifying the threats against
Wait, are you
Chuck
saying
Schumer
that
here.
just because a public servant has multiple offices in really expensive locations, they're not serving the public good?
Yeah.
So
well,
are you alleging corruption?
I'm not saying that
besmirching the reputation of dear Mr. Schumer.
I'm not saying that these threats were justified, because these threats aren't even real. I'm not saying that any threat in particular is justified. His statement of nobody deserves even threatening pushback for doing their job. You can do your job in corrupt, illegal ways. I guess what I'm saying is I view that statement kind of like the people who say violence is never acceptable. Violence is never a solution.
Yeah, believe all women. Yeah.
Clearly that's not true, or else you'd give up all your guns.
Well, so what if he was only getting threatened for not doing his job? Does that make it okay?
Please, centralize more power in DC, Chuck. But like Tim Walz, even if I want to say these threats, if you believe them to be real, oh, how terrible, we can't have a country like that. I also remember Chuck Schumer in public yelling about how if Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh and the rest of the Supreme Court didn't do what he said, what he wanted them to do, that they would pay the price. And he walked that back and said, well, you have to understand that I come from Brooklyn and we use strong language. Well, all these emailers use strong language. They're telling you the same thing.
Italian.
Hey, bitch, do what I say or you'll pay the price. Signed MAGA. But yeah, if we're supposed to have some principled stance against threats.
What if paying the price is just not getting elected again? I don't understand.
Well, that was Chuck's language. So now you're defending Chuck. I don't know. The thing about Chuck Schumer's emails, I don't know that we have an example of what it actually said. It didn't say TikTok boom boom bitch or something like that.
I didn't hear anything egregious. What if it was just an implication, and the implication was that he would have to eat that raw burger with the cheese on the top? We will do the right thing, or we will feed you your cooking.
God, that photo is one of that is in the Hall of Fame of just politically oblivious photography. And it probably does not get enough credit because it wasn't officially part of an ad or a political
Instagram,
message.
Right?
It was just or a tweet. Yeah. But if people don't remember, what you're talking about is Chuck Schumer, I think, saying Happy Father's Day. And
Something.
it was a picture of him grilling,
4th of
being
July.
a real American dad, whatever he was doing. And the raw burger was on the grill and the meat was still raw. And he had already put the slice of cheese on top of the
raw
burger. And he just had this grin on him. He kind of had this side view.
Creepy.
I should,
You could find it's. I'm sure anyone could find it. Just look up Schumer raw burger cheese.
That was such a
I don't.
classic
I
moment,
apologize for anything else you might find under that.
No,
search.
that's why I pulled it off screen. I don't know what necessarily might pop up, but here it is.
whatever you do not search Schumer raw burger cheese.
But yes, this is the photo. Look at that. Look at that normal American dad just celebrating whatever holiday. It was Father's Day. Yeah. Father's Day heaven. Good for Chuck. But yeah, a classic moment in American political history. So anyway, from one hoaxer to the next, we have a new member of Congress. Wait, what the heck's going on here? Oh yeah, I got to get it. Sorry, a little bit of duct tape.
Duct tape all over the place. It's a disgrace.
You just want it for credit for finding that soundbite.
I do. Thank you.
Mark does deserve credit.
My crowning achievement in life.
Someone, there was a week or two ago, whenever you were on last, someone said, "Hey, you need a sounder for duct tape," and suggested like the ripping of duct tape or the unrolling of duct tape. And I said, that's kind of a harsh sound, so we need something else. And Mark spent some time after the show and found this classic clip of Trump.
Duct tape all over the place. It's a disgrace.
And do you remember what the context of Trump saying that was?
I have no idea. I looked up, I just Googled Trump duct tape and then watched video after video after video until I found the perfect derogatory, what's it called when you're self-deprecating clip. And I said, I heard it and I knew, I was like, that's it. I immediately sent it to you.
I watched it was what you sent me was a montage of Donald Trump duct tape commentary. And it was all in the context of claims that he made in his first term about cartel members or illegal immigrants kidnapping people.
Oh yeah.
And he would use the cartel members allegedly would use duct tape and put it over people's mouths and tie them up with duct tape.
Duct tape all over the place. It's a disgrace.
That's what he was talking about. But
yeah, because I remember some of the other clips in the montage were just somewhat disturbing.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, don't judge me. Just 30 seconds. Listen right there.
No,
it's good. Trust me.
Nailed it. I'd never heard that clip before. It was a good one. But the newest member of Congress is already hoaxing. Got to make a name for herself, I guess. A Democrat Congresswoman, Adelita Grijalva from Arizona, was just sworn into office on November 12th. She won a special election to fill the seat of her father, Raul Grijalva, who passed away in January. He was in the seat prior. Now she has the seat. This district covers pretty much the entire southern border of Arizona with Mexico, obviously a very important district from an immigration perspective. And that is the context in which she enters the scene to make up a story about getting attacked by ICE agents. So Adelita says she was just getting lunch at her favorite restaurant in Tucson, I think is where this happened. She always eats at this restaurant. Just a normal day. She goes there weekly. What's this? A whole bunch of ICE agents conducting a raid nearby. I better go investigate and see what's happening. So she says she went over, she asked them what they're doing, and she was met with hostility. And she was pepper sprayed in the face. In fact, a staff member was pepper sprayed too, she says. And she posted a video right after describing what supposedly happened here. Doesn't really look like she was in fact pepper sprayed in the face, but she does do some coughing to convince you.
Oh, wow.
We just came up on a community that was protecting their people. I would say maybe 40 ICE agents, most of them masked, in several vehicles that the community had stopped right here, right in the middle of the street, because they were afraid that they were taking people. I was here. This is like the restaurant I come to literally once a week, and was sprayed in the face by a very aggressive agent, pushed around by others. When I literally was not being aggressive, I was asking for clarification, which is my right as a member of Congress. We saw people directly sprayed, members of our press, my staff member, myself, 2 staff members we have like remnants of whatever they sprayed on us. Excuse me, it's bothering me. They're literally disappearing people from the streets. They arrested 2 people. We have no idea where they're going.
Now, in her defense, Mark, I do believe her story that she is a woman who enjoys her lunch.
That's a huge bitch.
But do you buy the rest of it?
Big booty Latina.
The AOC's favorite.
I believe I've seen a clip of the incident. Is that perchance roaming around Twitter? And
I have it.
Some smoke goes between her legs after she's standing in the middle of the road being told to move like 15 times. Yeah.
A few hours later, I thought this video came out to expose her, like someone happened to have it. No, this is video that she herself posted, thinking that it vindicates her story or makes her look good. It does not show what she described. There's no pepper spray to the face. She's just being obnoxious. She is asked to step away. At one point, like you're describing, it looks like maybe a pepper ball or some other kind of projectile deterrent for the crowd lands near her feet.
Mm-hmm.
But that is about it. You decide if this is if this represents what she just described.
Watch out, watch out. Back up. Hey, put it down. Back up. Put it down.
You guys need to calm down and get out. You need to get out. You need to get out.
So right here, or soon,
You guys need to clear now.
watch her feet. Oh my God!
She didn't even notice.
She just kept walking toward them. Actually,
yeah, it hits at her feet. She has no idea.
Yeah.
So someone showed her the video after, and she's like, "Oh, I got hate crimed."
Yeah.
Like I've said many times, she should be in prison for obstruction.
She should, yeah. This is beyond. First of all, her nonsense story of I'm just there to ask questions. Okay, even if you have genuine curiosity, which you don't, you are there to obstruct this operation clearly. But let's say you didn't know what was going on. Like if I'm walking down the street and there's a big police presence in my neighborhood, wow, like was my neighbor operating a meth lab or something? What's going on here? If I had questions about it, I would not go to the law enforcement personnel actively engaged at the scene and tap their shoulder and say, "Hey, what's the deal here? Can you inform me?" They're going to say, "Go."
No, but she didn't even do that. She was screaming in their face.
Yes.
She wasn't going, "How can you tell me what's going on?" She was like, "Fuck you." Like, come on.
They have a press office, a press secretary for a reason. You go talk to that person. And if I were to do the same thing with my local law enforcement, they would say the same thing. Get the hell out of here.
This is
an active law enforcement.
Obstruction,
yeah.
Matt. Yeah.
They might give me the courtesy of one command to get out. But if I kept walking around and saying, "You guys need to leave. You need to get out of here," then I'm getting arrested. You're right. Because I'm obstructing at that point. I'm interfering. But we got some commentary from DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, who clarified the pepper spray claim. She said that Congresswoman Grijalva here was in the vicinity of someone who was pepper sprayed because they were obstructing and assaulting law enforcement. I think you can see it in the video there. Like there's a guy who sprays off to the side that's kind of generally close to her, but it is not. If she even got a whiff of it, I would be shocked. But that person was attacking law enforcement, they say. And Tricia McLaughlin says 2 law enforcement officers were seriously injured by the mob in that incident, of which this congresswoman was a part.
So then, by my logic, she is a part of the mob, therefore not just obstructing, but also attacking law enforcement officers and life in prison.
Fair enough.
Gitmo.
She can go to Mogadishu with the rest of them. Yeah. She can go to paradise.
Go to paradise and enjoy it. Yeah, perfect.
The other thing they do constantly, we've seen this with LaMonica MacGyver, who was doing the hammer punch at the ICE facility in New Jersey earlier this year. That prosecution is still pending. We've seen Maxine Waters try to do this in LA. They just show up. "I'm a member of Congress. I'm a member of Congress here to exercise my oversight." Like they can just behave like jackasses.
Punched a cop in the face.
I don't know about punch in the face, but LaMonica MacGyver did the hammer punch.
I love that name, by the way. LaMonica, let's say it again.
LaMonica MacGyver. She's a real. It sounds like a Netflix
just
version
awesome.
of MacGyver
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
80s. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Monica MacGyver. He
Like
adopted a black
like
daughter
like
and raised her.
Saturday
Yeah.
Night Live, MacGruber type.
Right.
LaMonica MacGruber.
I promise you, LaMonica MacGyver is not nearly as skilled as the original MacGyver. But she was hammer punching federal officers, and that there's still prosecution for that. But they always do that. They think that being a member of Congress entitles them to a level of jackassery beyond what the general public enjoys. No, you have a right to oversight. That means you have certain investigative powers in Congress. You can issue subpoenas. You can request documents. You can even go down to the facility and inspect if you wish. But that's not what they're doing. They're interfering with people on the job. And they're claiming that their obstruction is some sort of legitimate oversight. No, it's not. You are just a dressed up mob member with a cloak of supposed legal legitimacy, but you don't have that, and they should be prosecuted. You're exactly right. Like
no, and they don't just believe it. This is how they have behaved and gotten away with behaving until Trump. Until not Trump now, finally ICE, whatever. But it's not a belief. This has been. For them, they're in shock because they're like, what? I thought I could do whatever the hell I wanted all the time and never pay the consequences.
You have to bring charges against this woman. They did against LaMonica.
This is what pisses me off. Again, like I'm super jealous being stuck up in commie hellhole, but like at least Trump is doing something. But I don't know why he's not. Like, you don't have to go full fascist or anything. Just enforce the laws that are on the books.
Well, even a general obstruction charge, like if you or I or anyone just goes and gets an obstruction charge as general members of the population, it's not like a life-ending conviction. I don't even know if it's a felony. It might just be a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor, pretty sure.
You know,
but
it's
charge everyone. Look at what the FBI did to the J6ers. Right? This is what your enemies will do to you. They went over and above and just destroyed people's lives, made up charges. Look at everything they did to Trump. They found new legal precedent that was untested to possibly like condemn someone for and you can't even just go after the most basic stuff that's been on the books forever.
This is letter of the law stuff. The frustrating thing, I don't know if they will bring charges against Adelita here. LaMonica got the charges, but I believe that the prosecutor in that case has also been removed by the same reasoning that applies in the Comey and Letitia James cases. That is to say, something about a temporary or interim prosecutor serving in succession. Succession? Succession? Succession,
Sounds complicated.
Right? Succession. Anyway, my point is, I think that LaMonica case is tangled up in legal complexities now too. So even LaMonica's case is even clearer than this one because Adelita did not get violent. She was just being an obnoxious whatever. But LaMonica got violent, and that's a much clearer case. So if you can't successfully prosecute that, that's a problem. Anyway.
And as far as I know, you've told to move, you don't move. That's obstruction.
She's not even done though.
I'm not. I spent the majority of my life as a libertarian. I don't like police overusing their authority or abusing people or any of that. I'm not even a fan of, you watch those old YouTube videos of cars getting stopped on the highway and people being asked for their ID and they're using their whatever amendment it is, the right against search and seizure.
Oh. Well, unfortunately, you can't just declare Fourth Amendment protects me. It doesn't, it doesn't necessarily protect you in a traffic stop in all circumstances. But people try to do that. People just put up like notes in their car window as though like that stops a legally valid search as long as they do that. No, it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, I get your point. Like your civil rights, your constitutional rights are important. I just don't think that my constitutional rights are in any way threatened by prosecuting a member of Congress who obstructs active, valid law enforcement. It's the same thing whenever you have supposed police violence or unjustly aggressive law enforcement that, escalates from a traffic stop to maybe a police shooting or some other deadly situation. That's always the situation. If you just treat police officers with respect, generally you're going to get that. And maybe the police officer is wrong. Maybe they did pull you over for a bogus reason, or they're trying to cite you for something on bogus terms. You will have recourse for that, or if you're curious or have a question about that, there's a way to go about that. You simply, yes, sir, no, sir. If you think it's bullshit, you swallow, just chill out for a second.
Handle it properly. Like there's a great YouTube channel called Audit the Audit. And this guy, he goes through he'll show you the video of the whole interaction and then go through the legal precedent, who was right, who was wrong, and actually rate the cop and whoever it was that they were against. Phenomenal, especially if you're a big civil liberties person such as myself. And I love that stuff, and I'm really supportive of that. But then I also like Donut Operator, who shows you stuff from the cop side and was like, these guys deserve to get shot. Sorry. Don't fuck around.
Well, yeah, I've never seen a case where someone was genuinely nice, respectful, reasonable to the cop and paid their life as the price. I've just never seen that. It's never happened. And the same thing here. You don't have to love everything going on with immigration enforcement. You could be like Adelita and think it's all bogus, it's all wrong, it's all betrayal of our founding principles. If you have questions about that, there are plenty of opportunities for you as a member of Congress to ask the questions, to exercise oversight, to do all the sorts of things that you can do from a procedural perspective to try to correct the problem. That does not include obstructing active law enforcement on a whim. We don't have a country if anybody or even a member of Congress can just go into any law enforcement scene and say like, I don't know, I don't like this or seems stupid. I'm just going to stop it.
Yeah,
I'm going to
especially a member of Congress. Right? These people
that's not rule of law.
Standard.
That's heckler's veto on law enforcement, which makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. But she's not even done lying.
Oh shit!
Because after she said she was pepper sprayed in the face, and then it turned out not to be true. She goes on Jen Psaki's show on formerly MSNBC, now MS Now. And first of all, Jen Psaki is so grateful that Adelita is not in danger and she is safe. And her staff are safe. But now Adelita has a new claim. She was actually shot at.
It's great to see you. I'm happy to see that you're okay. How are you? How are your staff doing?
I think we're all okay. It was really scary, very jarring. I mean, it's one thing to hear about these things happening in communities. It's another thing to have it happen directly to you. I really did go, with the assumption that I'm just trying to understand what's happening. And so I went up, I introduced myself, I let them know who I was. One agent said, I don't care who you are. You need to get out of the way. We were pushed, we were shot at. And it's really scary. It was very frightening and very jarring.
I know she means that like crowd control projectile. I don't think she means live rounds, but we were shot at.
I was just distracted by as soon as someone uses the word communities, I get angsty. And she did several times in the clip before, and again this. I'm like, unless you're referring to an actual vicinity. Fuck off. Sorry.
You feel like a Cinnabon worker confronted with Somalis who want more caramel.
I get tempted to, pull out the top 10.
You are a
but again, I was just there trying to understand. I was very curious about what sort of events were going on that day in my town. Go to the press office. Talk to the press secretary. But yeah, it's all just a nonsense. The thing that's so annoying about this is Jen Psaki seeing the footage was available at this time, right, and still doing this comforting bit like, "Oh, are you okay? Oh my, it was practically a war zone." How about don't walk up to them like just like a total jackass, and they'll probably treat you very nicely. But you can't do that because it's all about the show. This lady's trying to make a name for herself in Congress, and this is how you do it. You create a show, and I guess she succeeded because I've been talking about her for 20 minutes now.
To cry at. Yeah. I get the feeling they're full of shit, Matt.
Yeah. Well, that's how they get put into office, I guess. But anyway. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we hop into Super Chat?
No, let's do it.
All right. We'll close out there. Let me give a quick refresh. Let me see. Over on Rumble, we'll check in there before we get back to YouTube. Skulldugger. The FBI originally reported that Brian Cole Jr. had no social media presence. Now, where have we heard that before? It's like some default line for them. I didn't see that, but I'm sure that's probably is what they said. I know he doesn't have a ton of online material because I haven't seen any. But yeah, the old Tyler Robinson, or not Tyler Robinson. He's the Charlie Kirk guy.
There's a few of them.
It's
every Patsy. Like, oh yeah, he's not online.
Thomas Crooks it's the Pennsylvania shooter where they said, well, pretty much no online presence. And then Tucker had that whole bit showing that he had hundreds or thousands of YouTube comments, but then he was talking about violent ends, and some guy named Willie Tepes joins the chat and says, hey, I love assassinations too. Let's be friends. And then he disappears.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's not suspicious.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Skulldugger. Grand Inquisitor, in Jacksonville, Florida, our trash pickup includes curbside junk or furniture. Okay. Well, there's a clarifying point.
But can you put it on the sidewalk, or does it have to be on your property?
I don't know. But Grand Inquisitor, if you know more about what the furniture discarding habits are for Jacksonville residents, we need to know, because it informs our understanding of this story. So thank you. It could be the case that they just had an old couch or something and they set it out because they were disposing it, and maybe he's right that like that.
And what are the bonfire regulations? Is it like, was it just maybe antique wooden chairs, or is he burning straight up toxic fumes?
Yeah, I don't know what the neighborhood layout would be, because if you're in a pretty tightly compacted neighborhood,
furniture is nasty shit to burn.
Yeah,
unless it's really, really old, and even then, it's covered in lacquer and all kinds of severe toxins.
So there's that, and then there's like just the size of the fire too, because if you're having a giant bonfire, you need some land. Your neighbor, even if you have land, your neighbors might get a little curious depending on the size. Depending on the size of the fire, you might get a permit for all that.
You don't light up a sofa.
Yeah,
in a regular backyard without calling some attention to yourself.
I had a fire pit in the backyard of my old house, and one 4th of July, I had just a normal backyard fire with my friends. I'm talking like you go to the store and buy the pre-chopped wood that you can buy for camping. Something like that.
I have a fire pit out here. I burn it, but I have no neighbors, so it's a little bit different.
I got the cops called on me for that, and they showed up, and they're like, "Oh, it's a fire in a fire pit." Okay,
yeah, exactly.
But
so
that
imagine like a stack of furniture. It's really odd. Like even
it
doesn't
would be
matter.
Giant,
even in Florida.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the guy was so mad. They had giant bonfires all the time, and that's why he said, "You guys are." Oh wait,
maybe F was for fire.
Here's another clarifying thing, and this is Two Dogs Mike. Thank you guys for cracking the code. Two Dogs Mike D. Because we couldn't tell. Let me pull that back up. We couldn't tell what the sign said. Where's the story here? What the sign that they had posted said. And I thought it said, fuck you, Twinkie fag, because I just saw T and Y and made an assumption. You're right. Two Dogs Mike D. Yes, it is fuck you, tranny fag.
Bingo.
I think you cracked the. I think you're right.
Those are two different things, though. So he's showing his sexual minority illiteracy. That's hate right there. You can't be a tranny and a fag. Can you? Wait, can you be a tranny fag?
Well, but the tranny guy was clearly related in some way to the gay guy who got shot. I don't know if they're roommates. I don't know if they're
wait, is one a
plus.
tranny and the other one's a fag?
Yeah, he might be talking about fuck you, tranny, also fag.
Yeah,
I think
is there an ampersand in there somewhere?
It's hard to tell.
Very small.
Yeah. Well, here's what's weird about it might be hard for you to tell, Mark, but you can see the blurring, right? You can see F clearly, U, T, and Y, and you can see the G, right? There's some form of punctuation after the G that is also blurred, like where a period would be.
S?
Why?
Is it a mini S?
I don't know. There's something down there they don't want us.
Fags?
Yeah, they don't want us to see this. Something small down there. But
just swastika. Backwards.
Two Dogs Mike D is on fire here. Not only is he cracking the code, but he's also contributing better jokes than I can. He says ICE claimed it was just a really dusty queef coming from the congresswoman's skirt. Okay.
Jesus.
That's disgusting.
It looked like it had. She did say she just finished eating a Mexican lunch at her favorite spot. So
that is true. That's just
who knows?
Spicy.
Could have been. It looked like it. It was right under there. It could have just been the expulsion of air like that. You're right. Grand Inquisitor also adds. So this is more information on our curbside pickup in Jacksonville. Curbside means exactly that. On the curb. No, you can't block the sidewalk. I would presume burning furniture is illegal, but nobody's going to enforce it unless you burn down your neighbor's house. Okay. So this sounds then like some sort of piece of furniture on the road, potentially for garbage pickup. They're saying a gay guy behaving weirdly was on the easement, not the property, which implies that he was messing around with some piece of property on the road, like not on their lawn.
Well, he could have been standing on the easement, reaching into the property to grab the furniture.
Maybe, yeah.
So
but if it was disposing furniture, like Grand Inquisitor is saying, then the furniture is probably on the like curbside, but not on top of the curb, on the road against the curb, is what he's saying.
Oh yeah, no, I thought inside on the property, inside the sidewalk, whereas the person is standing on the sidewalk, reaching into the property to grab said furniture. Yeah, this is getting too technical.
This is a real mystery. This Jacksonville case.
We need updates. We're going to follow this one.
Thank you for all the information here. Helps us crack the code, but I'm convinced it's just some sort of tranny fag degeneracy that got violent with the guy's girlfriend, and he had to defend her.
Yeah, but I think they didn't like each other, and the bitch got himself shot.
Over on YouTube, Cisco, I'm assembling a team. Crystal Wilsey, Shiloh Hendricks, Priya Sharma. I think I know who she is. Paul Miller, Gypsy Crusader, and Chud the Builder make KTLA tweeting great again. The KTLA Americans. Do you remember that story, Mark?
No.
KTLA Americans, that's a term coined, I think, by Joshy Boy, who sits in on the show too. But it's because some point earlier this year, KTLA is a big news station in LA. And someone got
Isn't
control
that the one with Charlemagne?
No, that's New York. That's
Charlemagne? Oh, he's in New York?
Unless he's like syndicated somewhere else. But he's in New York, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But KTLA, big news station, big Twitter account because it's a news station. At some point earlier in the year, I forget when it was, they just tweeted it. I think it was all caps. NIGGERS. It was just, that's it. And KTLA had said rogue staff member got control of the account. But Joshy Boy started calling them KTLA Americans.
There you go.
And the term stuck. Now, as far as...
it's even better than basketball.
Right. The Indian name here, Priya Sharma, I'm pretty sure that's the woman who said... Get out of my face, you fucking nigger! She was in her car, and there was some KTLA behavior confronting her, doing the LaMonica McIver fist shakes. and I don't remember the nature of the confrontation, but that she too, her patience had worn so thin that she said, "Get out of my face, you fucking nigger!" I save them all to this soundboard.
I've seen memes to this effect on the X platform today. Yeah, Team Avengers Assemble.
I forgot about a lot of these names, but yeah. Joshy Boy, Trump should have called Tim Walz a knucklehead, right?
I'm a knucklehead at times.
Because he already admitted he was. He would have no recourse. You're right. He would have to admit it. At least at times. Not, if not always a knucklehead, at least at times.
Someone needs to manipulate that and say, I've become friends with N-words.
Oh, he's definitely become friends. Look at his record with the Somali fraudsters. They're very cozy. Producer Tim, so using the word retarded is dangerous, eh, Tim? Well, what about calling people Hitler, fascist, authoritarian, etc., or checking your phone hoping that Trump died? I forgot about that one. Oh, I was disappointed today to learn that Trump was still alive. He said something.
Who was
like that? Tim Walz, the
nice. Yeah,
the retard governor of Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't even call these people hypocrites because they have no principles to betray. Yeah, well, Tim Walz, a difficult man to understand for sure. Tim also says, Mark, you are in no position to judge Aussies. 1, you're Canadian, and 2, you live in a country where people are not French by birth, but actually pretend to be French by choice. Also, maybe our methods for detecting retards are just getting better, right? So are you going to stand for that French-Canadian smearing?
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I mock everyone mercilessly, and you're right. I take it as well as I give it out, and thank you. I'm in no position, hence why I do it.
You know who else takes it as well as they give it out? I think these tranny fags down in Jacksonville do that. But
yeah, fuck you, Aussie fags.
That's a big
Let's go.
game, man.
All right.
We're in the eternal contest of who is gayer, Canadians or Aussies.
Thank you, Tim. Injured Guardian. If you attack one of us, you attack all of us. Only has weight. That guy definitely has weight. That saying only has weight if each individual is capable in a fight. None of those fools would be worth a damn. Well, that's the thing is like, you attack one of us, you attack all of us. It's strange that in aggression, everyone's an individual. But in victimhood, they're all collective. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you can't judge every Afghan or every Somali or every gay or trans person by the actions of these few. However, if one is unjustly treated, well, then they're all one big victim class. Why are you a group as victims but individuals as aggressors? You have to pick one. There's a unequal.
It's called hypocrisy for the point of defeating your enemy, Matt.
Got it. Convenience.
So once you figure it out, it all makes sense.
Thank you, Injured Guardian. Everything's weaponized. Yeah. Injured Guardian also says, why the hell does Schumer have 3 offices? Well, in fairness, he is statewide, right? If you're a senator in a fairly geographically large state, I don't know that I find that to be all that.
Were they all in the same state though? I didn't follow.
Yeah, they were all in.
Mentioned.
One was Long Island, one was Binghamton, right? I don't know New York geography that well. I should have mentioned in the Schumer
Binghamton, but I know New York pretty well. But
yeah, I don't know. It was 3 different places in the state, but you know, you're in a, like Montana, for example, and I know New York's not as big as Montana, but if you're a senator representing the state of Montana, you're going to need offices in Missoula and Miles City and the different corners of this state, because if constituents have issues to bring to your office or you have to meet with people, it could be hundreds of miles between these offices. I'm not saying you need one in every town, but as a practical matter, if you're going to serve the entire state, you got to have some presence in the corners of that state. So that I get, but
fair enough, I suppose. I'd never heard of it. You know, I thought a P.O. box would suffice.
Well, we could just,
because you can't be present in all of them. So what's the point?
Like you, the senator, can't be present in each office. It's because they got staff, you know, doing allegedly in theory.
That's a lot of staff. That's a lot of expenses for a senator.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
like
we just
need
have
a physical presence in multiple cities with a staffed physical presence in multiple.
Maybe we just need one office per senator per
like,
state.
There's a thing called email.
Well, that's where he's getting threatened. Don't you understand?
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Injured Guardian. Taker 610. Gas at Walmart in my area is $2.38 at the moment. You can end all immigration debate with the question, what can't all immigration be Sorry, I think this was like
why
typo or something. Okay, let me try again. Gas at Walmart, I think these are 2 separate thoughts. Gas at Walmart in my area is $2.38 at the moment. That's good. Like to see that.
Good? That's a gallon, right? Because you guys,
yeah.
we're on the imperial system up here, and I don't know how to do that.
That's cheap. That's probably I mean, we've seen $4 a gallon gas in recent times in this country. I think the all-time record, was it under Biden that we hit the all-time record where the national average was creeping on 5?
I'm not the right person to ask that.
Something
I know that. Well, so we pay like $2 a liter. So
let me
how many liters are in a gallon, guys?
Let me see what the average all-time high was. I thought that was under Biden recently. I don't have that handy. Oh wait, yeah, it was 2022, March 2022. It was, they blamed, of course, the Russia's aggression on Ukraine.
Right.
The national average
gas from Ukraine.
Yeah, national average was 417 in March 2022. So we haven't cut it in half, and of course, national average is different than this guy's locale. But to put it in Canadian perspective, I don't think he said in the chat here.
Okay.
But to put it in perspective, it'd be like gas being whatever it was at its highest. I assume it was probably about at its highest in 2022 in Canada. Take maybe 60% of that, 70% of that, and we've cut a good chunk of it off.
Yeah, I mean, it always still amazes me because we have more natural resources than you do. We have more land, and it's harder because of Quebec. We can't ship our gas. But yeah, we were paying like $2.20 a liter, and there's something like 4 liters in a gallon. So what is that? $8 a gallon? Crazy.
Wow. What's the conversion here?
I don't know.
What is gallons to commie units of
something.
volume?
Yeah. Hey, come on.
Yeah, you're right. It's 3 3/4. So roughly multiply by 4. So yeah, you guys are paying a lot, or were. You had all that energy in Alberta. It was crazy, but anyway.
Same in Quebec. We have hydro, and we supply most of the electricity to New York, and we have endless supplies of gas. We just can't ship it across the country because we're communist retards.
Why, when you say can't, why? What's the regulation? Why is that prevented?
We can't build a pipeline.
Oh, they just refuse. Quebec refuses it.
Yeah.
No, it's Quebec, right? Not Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the second point of that. So
stick to Quebec because they hate it.
First point was gas is low. That's good. You can end all of the immigration debate with the question, I think, why can't all immigration be legal? But I think a lot of these people would say it should be. Like there are a lot of people who genuinely believe in open borders fully. Like it doesn't even matter if they're criminals. Doesn't even matter if they're actual cartel members. Doesn't matter. Like anybody can come in whenever they want, which of course means there is no such thing as a country.
Yeah,
it's like saying you have a house where anybody can come in whenever you want. It's not your house then.
Great. Yeah. No. Listen. I'm always okay with cutting it down the line. You want to have open borders? Great. No taxes. No social services. Open borders.
Yeah, you kind of have to because it doesn't make any sense to. If there aren't borders, then how are the people who are taxed even defined?
I want to be reimbursed for like everything I've invested my entire life and my parents and their parents. And then, open borders all you want.
Thank you, Taker. Injured Guardian says many in Congress think they're nobility. That's what it implies. Oh, I'm a member of Congress. Okay, cool. I thought it was no kings. I thought that's what we were doing. No kings.
No.
You're just a regular person. I thought was
kings are male, and she's a woman of color.
Lots of queens.
Very different.
Lots of queens between members of Congress and those guys in Jacksonville for sure. Injured Guardian also says donut operator is awesome. Neil disagrees. I assume you mean Neil Mohan, the YouTube CEO guy. Is donut operator in trouble? Maybe it's just all. I know his content. I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen everything he's ever made, obviously, but I'm familiar with what he does. I assume there's probably like violence stuff gets him in trouble.
He's really pro cop, and that's never okay. No. He was a cop, as far as I believe.
Yeah, that's his history, right?
Yeah.
Joshy Boy says, remember to always refer to the KTLA tweet.
You are a
I'm just going to refer to Cinnabon now.
Cinnabons. I like it.
Cinnabon Americans who love
Cinnaballies.
More caramel Americans. I think that's what that lady was pretending to do too in the video. They demanded more caramel, and I know that's controversial because I say caramel and some people say caramel, but I think that other A is there for a reason. Anyway, they wanted more caramel, and it looked like she was pretending to squeeze it out of her butt.
Okay.
Okay. Esoteric Unbound, what's going on? Missed the past hour and a half of the show talking on the phone with my daughter's beau. He had something important to ask me concerning something he is going to ask her. Well, that is great. You love to hear it.
We love you. You're very special.
Congratulations, man. I'm really happy to hear that. All the best to you and your family. And I know there's been tough times, and you get through tough times, and you have good times beyond them. And I'm really glad to hear that. All the best to your family. God bless. Congratulations. You ever think about that? I know you have daughters, right? I forget. It's not all boys, right? I know I've asked you a million times.
3 girls, 1 boy.
Yeah. So anyway, there's they're not married yet, though, right?
The eldest got married this spring.
Oh, okay. So what was that like?
It was great.
Yeah.
Really
but
nice.
was it a very sentimental, emotional experience like this?
I cried.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be, but it's it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Congratulations, Esoteric Unbound. All the best to you. Injured Guardian. Why is Katy Perry dating Fidel Castro's bastard?
Because she sold her soul to the devil.
Yeah.
I actually got in a long text argument with Grok about that last night with my wife. It was like, She had no idea. I was like, yeah, no, Katy Perry said she sold her soul to the devil. So she's like, oh, I'm going to ask Grok if that's true. She likes to think that Grok is a person. Like, she calls him he. And I'm like, no, it's just a program. But I like to argue with it. And it literally went through the thing. I'm like, okay, did Katy Perry sell her soul to the devil? He's like, no, it was a phrase of speech, a figure of speech. And I said, okay, well, in the Bible, when the devil took Jesus to the mountain and said, I can give you all of the world, would that not be analogous to what Katy Perry did when she left her Christian music career and started promoting
even know that history
degeneracy
of Katy
to children? Oh, it's fascinating.
Huh.
So she was a Christian singer who wasn't famous, but was, she was in the news and stuff. And then she signed a deal with a big record label under a person of a certain persuasion, and was given money and fame to promote degeneracy to children. Her first big hit was I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It.
Yeah.
And then there was a famous interview of her saying, I sold my soul for money and fame. And so to me, that's like literally the perfect, like, yes, you did. That's what that means as a objective like standard.
And now the devil's so like, your debt is due. So here's Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's fascinating history.
Yeah.
Taker 610. Remember, no Trump, no wall, no USA at all. Lol. Yeah, exactly. Those kind of chants. If you erase borders, you don't. There is no there's no country at all. It doesn't. There's. Who do you? To your point on taxing and benefits and all that. Without borders, who do you even tax? Like, how are those people defined? It doesn't make sense.
No, you couldn't do it. I mean, it would be then we would automatically reorganize along tribal lines and nations, and then the nations formed of successful people would want to build walls.
One day we'll get it figured out.
Just kinds of would repeat.
Yeah. Two Dogs, I mentioned he's on fire with his investigative skills here and his joke writing skills, but I think he cracked the code here too on what's going on in Jacksonville. A gay guy just wanted the couch so he could sniff the cushions.
Bingo.
Maybe. There's probably a lot of good butt sense in there. It's just trying to get a good sniff, that's all. All right. We're good on Odyssey. Thank you guys over there. We're all set on Rumble. Quick refresh on YouTube and Tippy. I think we're good there. All right, Mark, anything else you want to mention before we're out of here?
I think I've said enough.
All right. Well, we will call it there. Thank you one and all for tuning in tonight. Thanks to our live chatters and super chatters for making the live show a success. If you're listening on demand later, thank you kindly as well for supporting the show. Thanks to my guest, Sean Fitzgerald. Find his actual Justice Warrior channel and his X account linked
Great
at the top
channel.
of the description. Good dude, yeah. Thanks to Mark Aaron for sitting in tonight. Follow him on X at Liberty M. Aaron, linked in the description. Thanks to producer Tim for his assistance, as always. Find everything show related at mattchristiansenmedia.com. You want to send me a message. You want to participate in the Wednesday show with emails for the show or voicemails for the show. You want to pick up a t-shirt. You want to just find the latest episode of the show or my latest videos. All of it is at mattchristiansenmedia.com or mattis.gay if you prefer brevity. I'm like a couch harvester in Jacksonville, you know, mattis.gay. I'm back on Sunday and Wednesday nights. Have a great night and a great week.